girl.
Hi,
Hey, it's
how are
crack-a-lackin'.
you?
Very
Child.
dehydrated, but I
Mm.
am here. Hallelujah.
Tell me about this dehydration.
You know what? It's the little things in life. You just don't know how important they are, how they're the fabric of your mental health, like a fucking water bottle. I lost my water bottle or misplaced it. I have since found it, but I had lost it for a couple days and I would just not drink water at all throughout the day and
Mm.
spiral. And like I said I wasn't drinking coffee anymore, but somehow or other I ended up drinking coffee again because I love it. And it fucks up my day. It will wreck my day. It gives me makes my heart beat fast. It gives me anxiety. It just shake. I will shake. It's very bad for me, and I love it so much. I think it's when I buy like the 12 ounce from a cafe. If I make my own cup, I'll do like 8 ounce or 6 ounces. But I'm getting 12 ounces and being
Why don't
wrecked.
you?
My day is
You can't do decaf if you buy it. I don't drink coffee, so
no. Who
oh,
does that? Ew.
it doesn't taste the same.
It's
Is
like
it a different taste or?
it's like getting tofurkey
But does
chicken
it
wings.
taste different?
Like what? No, I should do a half calf. It does
Um,
taste different. A little bit. I don't know. I've never really done it, so let me shut up. But I could do a half calf. But anyway, I've since found my water bottle and I'm like, am I upset or am I dehydrated? And I think it's just that I'm dehydrated, so yeah, everything's okay. I've also been back on my Mike Tyson shit. Forgot about what a wonderful human being he is. And so I've been watching his interviews on YouTube. And again, just a fully not he's not fully evolved, but just what an arc of a man. Like when people think of like Malcolm X, his legacy is how he just transformed and turned his life around. I feel like he similarly has this arc of of growth and intelligence. Like, fuck, he's just a smart
yeah,
man.
he's like a deeply
Wise. I
reflective
love
man.
him. I love him. And I'm trying to look for a Mike Tyson t shirt. So if anyone,
Did you Google it? There's so many.
um, oh no, I haven't. But if
Can
anybody
you
knows of
tell
a
me
special
how you
name,
looked
send us there.
then? How do you look for things?
I
Okay.
didn't look. I didn't look. It was just in my mind that like I really want to
I'm
get a
always
Mike Tyson
confused. Like,
t shirt. I
you
want
do
many of
not
them.
utilize Google. You don't.
I
I'm
don't
always
utilize
so
the
confused.
internet.
You're like, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, did you Google it? You're like, oh, yeah.
Nobody got time for that.
Girl,
Show me a
YouTube
hot,
tells you
but I will.
everything.
That I'm gonna make time for it because I want a whole like outfit. Also, girl, I was gonna come up to well for my birthday. I will not say this person's name, but I had plans of getting grills done. This person acted like a whole. I ain't even gonna say
You could
that.
say it.
They just fell through on their. Just had poor business
Mm-hmm.
practices. Just embarrassing. Right when I was about to go up there, they text me like, "Oh no," they just like sent it canceled. So I never got my grills. Thank God, because I didn't know
I
how much they were
told
going to
you.
cost anyway. So
Remember when we were on here and I was like, you didn't price them? And you were like,
I was like, whatever it is, I'm gonna pay because I deserve it. But then I'm so happy that it fell through because she'd be like $5,000, and I'd have been like,
I went.
damn. I'd have ran. I would have flipped over that fucking dental tray she had and ran so fast. um, but I have found. Oh, but then Angie, in the summertime when I was hanging with Angie, she had the little gems in
Angie
her
of
teeth.
Ariane's jewelry.
Oh,
Yes.
I was like, I'm gonna get that. But then I've always felt like, oh, they're only doing that in Philly again because I don't utilize. This is actually just all about how my life is harder because I don't utilize Google. But I was like, they don't have that in Philly. I bet they do. And I have an appointment next
How are you
Friday. So
getting
I'm
put on
so
your tooth?
excited. And it's so much cheaper.
What are you
What'd you
getting
say?
put on your tooth?
I don't know. I'm gonna get some gems. I'm gonna get the canine and then the bottom tooth. So I am ecstatic,
I can't stand you.
excited. I feel like I'll be a happier person once I get that done.
Do you?
Transformed. I feel like I'll be more spiritually evolved and kinder and
I
happier.
shut up. Yo, you are irritating.
So those are my updates, Queen.
Um,
So don't act like I ain't never told you. How are you?
I'm okay. You know what? As far as water goes for you, I'm having a strange relationship with water. I have this lovely friend who is so bougie with the water that they drink. They only drink Evian. And to me,
Mm,
they say that all the water that I drink is pea water. They're like, that's pee.
damn.
Like they're adamant. They won't, like, you can buy them water. They could be dying of thirst on a summer day, just sweating. And if the store does not
Ooh,
have
set the
Evian, they're
scene.
not drinking it.
Set the scene.
Truly.
God
And
damn.
so I started my Google journey of water and was like, again, I am just
Perturbed.
perturbed,
Flabbergasted.
flabbergasted, disturbed
Taken aback.
about our water and how it's not really great. And so I'm just like, wow, maybe I got to be Queen of Fu and get my rainwater. I do have a fire escape. I don't think that's going to work. Or maybe I got to just boil water. Do you boil water?
You got to get the $400 apocalypse joint. I
I
don't know
want what
what
my
it's
mom
called.
has. I want what
Oh,
my mom has. She has like the
fancy
RO4
bitch.
something something. Have you ever had my mom's water?
It's like a big
No,
tin.
girl. This
It's
thing is
like,
in the basement. It's like as big as a water heater for an entire house. It runs through the kitchen.
oh,
She has a special spout. Like, it's a thing. I forget what it's called. It's like a
what does it
reverse
do?
osmosis machine for her water.
Mm. Oh,
It
science,
is,
reverse osmosis.
that
Next
water
week we
is
will explain
delicious.
that.
Anyway, but I don't own my place, so I can't do that. And I also probably couldn't afford it because it was thousands of dollars. And now I'm researching, and so I hate the way Evian tastes. It tastes like dirt. So then on my Google journey, I found out that Fiji is better. And Fiji is just so expensive, like, ooh. And I'm like, maybe the pea water is
It's
fine.
like Fiji's not a lifestyle.
It
Fiji's
is
not
though. What do you
like,
mean? There's
but like they don't even sell it in
I
gallons.
know. So
Like
this is my beef with
it's not
Fiji
even
is
sustainable.
that they don't sell it in a like in gallons. They don't sell like a
They know
really
what they're
large
doing.
size. So there's just all this plastic waste and just bottles. And
They know what they're doing.
I've seen because I watch AD on YouTube, architectural digest, and I'm obsessed with people's
Hmm.
homes. And they open their refrigerator and it's just nothing but a whole thing of Fiji water, but it's all this plastic, so I can't get on that bandwagon either, and I'm not paying for that. So I have a funny relationship with water right now, but I say all that to say that I have been drinking water, but I haven't been sleeping. So you've been denying
Oh,
yourself of water, and I've been denying myself of sleep, and here we are
slowly
trying
killing
trying to
ourselves.
deliver the message to the people. You know,
Antoinette, look into the Big Berkeley water
I'm
filter
not paying for
system.
that.
Shout out to all the hippies that are like, yeah, that's it right there. That's that apocalypse
Can you send me
motherfucker
the
water
link?
filter. I need to get that.
It's fine for if you, it's renter friendly. Okay, send me
Yeah.
the link.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It could go where you're, I don't know what you have in your house, but it could go there.
Oh my God.
It could go where that shit is in your kitchen. Go to
Something
furnace.
else that's up with me. Do you do Wordle? Have you heard of Wordle?
Girl,
Oh my
no.
God.
Stop
So
it.
Wordle is a new pastime of mine where, no, can you text me the link? Why are you putting it in the outline?
I can't right now. It's
Y'all,
right there.
Shanti
It'll be
just,
all right.
she be having me going and searching for things. um, the Wordle is amazing. And I know that there's people that have been playing Wordle. So I'm telling you, I'm dyslexic. And this Wordle, the way it is with the New York Times posts a new Wordle every day, and you just type in Wordle New York Times. You don't have to download anything. You click it, and you have 6 chances to figure out what the word is. And so there's 5 spaces, and then you type in like a word, dream, right? And then it'll show you if the letter flips and it's green, that means that is the right letter and it's in the right place. If it's yellow, then that means the letter is in the word, but you don't have the letter in the right place. And then if it blacks out, that letter is not in the word. And it sounds really easy, but it's actually like not.
They give you
don't.
hints?
Like that's it. You just start bare and you go for it. The hints are the colors. It's like, and you figure it out. But it's such a good game to keep your mind sharp, especially in a world where we're not reading enough anymore. We're not writing enough anymore. And we might all get Alzheimer's or something quicker because we're not really utilizing certain parts of our brains.
And the waves apparently are causing cancer. Or the
Oh yeah,
cordless
that's all of
things,
that. This Bluetooth, the cell
we ain't
phones,
gonna remember shit.
We're goners.
We got scrambled
But
eggs.
I
child.
really encourage people to do it. It's fun and it's only one a day. You can download the app. I downloaded an app for it, and so I'm like trying to practice because I'm competitive. And then it's also fun because almost everyone is doing it, and so you can write them and be like, "Did you get the Wordles for today?" And like you battle it out and see who get it first. Like that's my new silly thing. And I also started to I was working on like our logo stuff. We are doing a rebrand, and I want to get the curls perfect. And I was just playing around, and I realized that because I don't write anymore, my handwriting is abhorrent. It is scary. I'm writing like, you ever been in school when you were younger and you had to like pass people's tests out for the teacher, or give them back their tests for the teacher, and you looked at someone's handwriting and was like, you're the scum of the earth. What is this? Chicken scratch. That's how my handwriting looks right now, and I'm so upset. It was never beautiful, but it wasn't like this.
You had real like curly Q, very round.
I had curly Q round, and I don't. And now it's just
dumb T's. I hated your T's. Sorry. I wasn't a fan of your handwriting. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm so sorry. You're so upset with me.
I don't love my handwriting.
Could always tell me.
I know.
I don't. Do you know my
fucking handwriting, and it's nice, and I don't care. So, yeah, my handwriting like sticks up. It's like it's childish. It's childish.
It's given 6th grade. It's given 5th grade gel pen.
It's childish. It gives like if I was a kid writing home from camp. And it bothers me because my father and my sister and my mother have my mom. My handwriting is closest to my mom. She has round handwriting, but my dad's penmanship, he could have done calligraphy. His penmanship, my mom used to be so jealous.
That's a sexy quality.
When he would write our birthday cards or something, she would be fuming, like, "Oh, I love his pen. And he just doesn't even make sense." She would just be so jealous of him. So I am on a journey to learn words of the English language. I was on Spanish, and then somehow I stopped sleeping and then stopped. I got to get back on my app. So I'm learning English, I'm learning Spanish, and I'm learning cursive. So it's pretty remedial over here, but we're working it out. And then lastly, I had this epiphany the other day when I was like, wow. And I'm going to stop saying when I was like. I said to myself, there is a temptation in my life. It's not a temptation. It's a longing in my life for a certain something that is not mine. And it's inappropriate and goes against every fiber of my being and everything I preach, there's just no clarity around, but there's not enough clarity around the situation. And I find myself just wanting to explore a situation that is just, I can't. And so I realized because you know me, I'm a lady Libra, and I don't know, a little judgy. I don't know, like maybe. And so I realized that I started to understand why people make the decisions that they make. And sometimes it's just that they want to, they think about themselves and they think about their happiness and and it might be selfish, but in the moment they're just caught up in what they want and what they want to feel, and whether it's wrong or right, they want to do it, you know, and they want to honor how they feel.
I gotta send you this interview of Mike Tyson though, because that's what he says. He's like, "You're fucking selfish. All you think about is your
Yeah.
fucking self. You're not a master of
Oh,
yourself.
he
You gotta
loves
be a
to say
master
that.
of yourself. I don't even have a fucking cell phone because I watch porn every day. I can't do it. Gotta be a master of myself.
I
I'm so
love it.
selfish."
But I say that just to say, like, it's really hard to implement these, I don't know, moral high grounds that we talk about and that we know are right, quote unquote right. But in the world, sometimes shit is gray, and we're gonna talk a lot about that later.
That's what I'm
Sometimes things are
saying.
gray, and I had a conversation with one of our friends, and she just said to me, how, she said, why are you making the decisions that you're making? Because it doesn't seem like it's making you happy. You haven't gotten what you wanted yet. You just can
Who
sit.
said
I'm not
that?
going to say on the podcast, I'll text you. But she's like, you can just sit and say that, you know, you've done everything perfect and right and never hurt anybody, but you've been hurt quite a bit and you've missed out on some things that may have been great for you. And I sat with that. I was like, it's not changing how I feel about my little situation, but I did sit with it and think like, maybe that's what they mean when life is messy. But also I need to be able to sleep well at night. So it's tricky. But I just say that to say I talk a lot of shit on this podcast about what is right and what is wrong and how we should operate. And I still feel that way very much. And I'm still going to hold myself accountable in those ways. But I do get how practicing that, how difficult that can be. And so I'm still practicing that, but I hate it here. Truly.
The human possibility, it's just endless. There's so much between right
So
and wrong,
much.
and we always just want to be right or wrong, and we never really want to, or we don't know, we like glitch when we try to figure out what's in between this idea of right and wrong. It's like we might have then.
And also when you really don't know what is right and wrong in a situation.
Man, what
You
is
really
right
are
and
like, I don't
wrong?
even have all the facts, so I don't even know what's right and wrong. But until I do, I'm going to deny myself of this and have these boundaries. And that's corny. Ew. But I'm going to do it because it's right, quote unquote.
What you think is
Right.
right?
It's what allows me to sleep at night. In
In
this
this
moment.
moment, and that may change. That's another thing. Our rights and wrongs change, and they
A
should.
bar. In other news, hot shit. I was put on to Boston Legal. This is not a new show. It's probably 20 years old. I never
I've heard it
watched it.
before.
It is really quite good. I enjoy it. It is on Amazon Prime. And I am telling folks to look into it. It's a nice little thing to have on in the background. Probably won't change your life. But is that his name? Chow. David Spader? David Spader. Who's Spader? No, that ain't him. David Spade. That is not him. Who is the man that's on?
Isn't that the man?
No. Who's on Blacklist? Who's this? James Spader.
Who's the man?
One of them white names. James Spader is in it, and he's just phenomenal. And so is the dude from, I can't remember anybody's name.
Ain't sleeping, ain't drinking water. Shit makes
It
your
does
brain
because there's
just shrivel.
proteins,
Just a
there's dirty
raisin.
proteins that your body, I researched it. So I
Guilty.
couldn't sleep because I was out and up all night. And then I came home and was like, I got to research how this sleep is going to affect me instead of sleeping. And then I was like, oh my God, there's dirty proteins that your body gets rid of while you sleep. And they scramble your brain and
Around the way,
cloud,
curls.
I'm serious, and they
Thanks.
cloud your judgment
I hear it.
the next day. Dirty proteins.
Fuck around got you making poor decisions.
First of
Well,
all,
shit.
I also would like to talk about this YouTube show, again, was put on. It's called Pitch Meeting, and it's hilarious. Have you heard of this? You need to send this to
Mm-mm.
Rashid. This is like our most
Rashid.
beloved movies. You know me and Marvel. I love Marvel. I love a good white people.
Oh, they just give the wrong
They
pitches
give
of
the
it. They
real
make up the
pitch,
wrong.
but they break holes in all of the plot lines. And the guy is so
Yeah, I think he's already seen that.
witty, and he's just like, you just have to watch it. Everybody just take a peek. If you want to see one, a movie that we really loved, which was like,
The Color
I don't think
Purple.
he did The Color. Why? Why was that the color? Why was that the one? No, you are Aggie. Go to like the Dark Knight. Go to that one where Heath Ledger was a Joker. It was incredible, Academy Award winner. But he just ruins it for you. He ruins it. Go to Endgame. Do one of those, and then you're gonna just be like, oh my God, the plot is so dumb. And why didn't I think of this in the moment? That this doesn't make
Right.
any fucking sense.
Bet he couldn't poke no holes in Color
I
Purple,
bet
though.
this white man
Bet he
could.
couldn't.
I don't want to see him do it because he's white,
bet he
but
couldn't.
he could.
But like 18. Have you watched
No. Not yet, and I have
Atlanta?
to tomorrow.
Oh,
Really,
very
I
good.
heard that the first episode is incredibly good.
Yeah. And the second is very good. Shout out to the artsy black boys out there. Just
Doing a thug thistle.
cream of the crop. Artsy black boys.
Moving right along. Speaking of The Color Purple, I don't know why I said speaking of The Color Purple, but Tyler Perry.
What?
Is he involved in this? No, he's not involved in the new Color Purple remake. I feel like he's just so attached to Oprah
How do you
that I
feel
put them
about that?
together. I don't know. I'm hoping to be like pleasantly surprised and shocked. I saw Danielle, as Sophia on Broadway, and she was really good. It's also, I think, a musical adaptation. I don't think it's just script. I think it's a musical adaptation. So that's why you have Taraji, and people don't know that Taraji can sing well.
I saw that little clip.
Oh,
on
and
the
she was
interwebs,
practicing. Yeah, she can sing. She's really worked on her voice. Yeah.
Dang.
So I hope to be pleasantly surprised. I'm rooting for it. I'm nervous, but I'm rooting for it. And if Oprah gave her blessing and Whoopi gave her blessing, then let's see. Who's doing Sealy? Is it what's her face from London? Cynthia.
Where's our producer to help
I know
us
this
with
is
these
when.
things?
See, I'm spoiled because when I go on my little guest appearance to see the thing is, they're like, Screen Man, bring it up. Screen Man. I'm like, what?
Not
I
Screen
can't.
Man.
We don't have none of that. I think it's Cynthia Erivo.
It better be a white guy too.
Cynthia Erivo. She's incredible.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Come on. Look at how slow she uses Google, y'all. Look at
Nobody's
how
on
slow
here
she.
doing
Let's
Google
just
after we
see
done said
how
I
long.
can't do Google.
Jay, that's because her search engine is Yahoo still. It makes me so mad. Every time I look something up on her computer, I'm like, why is this Yahoo? What is this?
That was happening for a minute. I can't find it.
God.
Josh.
Watch this. Who is playing Sealy in the remake?
Ooh.
Fantasia. Okay. Fantasia was good. Fantasia was great. Fantasia was great as Sealy on Broadway. Incredible. Cynthia was better, in my opinion. But Fantasia was incredible.
Okay. Oh, so you saw it on Broadway?
I just said that.
You're You're a
sort
real
of cool.
cultured
All right,
woman.
I gotta go.
Real cream of the crop. No, for real. Like,
Speaking of culture,
you'll be seeing and
Tyler
knowing
Perry.
shit.
So Tyler Perry, I don't understand the context of this. I've looked on the internet web. I can't find it. But he said he was taking a lie detector test and he said that he uses the Medea voice in bed. And so I'm just curious to know, could you
Hello.
imagine?
I wish you'd say some nasty shit. If you saying the right shit, I don't
No,
care how
I don't
you
want to
saying
hear
it.
it in that voice. I would be.
Hello? No, that
That's
is
strange,
strange. That
right?
would be very strange.
It's an older
It depends. I
woman.
don't know. Now,
There you
now, do you think Tyler Perry's putting it down?
go. You know what? You know what?
Do
I
you
want
think?
to
I
say
feel like
something,
he
but ever
probably.
since Will slapped Chris, I've been second guessing the smart shit that comes out of my mouth. So, and
Wow.
we're gonna get into
You don't want to
that.
hurt nobody. You don't want to get slapped.
Or no, that's not it. I'm just trying to be more thoughtful. But I don't know if Tyler
That
Perry is.
doesn't make for
I
good
know. I just don't know
podcast.
if Tyler Perry is having the sex that he wants us to believe that he's having.
Even if he's having the sex that he wants, I bet it's probably.
Well, I don't
I feel like he has the build to like
shock you.
potentially have some fun,
Maybe.
to like
I think
put
he's
some
confident.
yang in it,
We'll see.
thrust it like a
Oh,
real nigga.
I don't know. I haven't envisioned sex with Tyler
Oh,
Perry, if I'm being completely honest, or Medea. But all I know is that Medea voice in bed would make me leave. Like, thank you for this. There's not enough money in the world. Have a good night.
no, that shit probably have you going, child. You
All right,
never
try it
know.
out. Let me know how it goes.
I
I
I
dare you.
gotta get somebody to really know how to say it, do the voice.
Um, we brought it up a little bit. The Oscars were last night, and we're not going to talk about the Will and Chris thing because that's actually going to lead us into our main topic for this this podcast. So if you want to hear that, make sure you stay tuned after the break. But our girl Beyonce was there, and I actually didn't watch the Oscars. I was like playing table tennis because apparently that's my new thing too. And Jazz FaceTimed me and was like, "Did you see Blue?" And I was like, "What? No." And I forgot that it was the Oscars. She was like, "She was dancing." I was like, "She was."
Front and
She
center, child.
was. And
She's gonna be a
I
star.
hope so. It seems like I don't think that Beyonce would put her in it if she didn't want to be. It seems like that she's really taken up interest, which, of course,
Or if she's not competent, because Beyonce ain't having no fucked up kid fuck up her show. Blue, you're not on. You're not on
right.
time. You're fucking it up. You're gonna only be in the back. You're just gonna be in the
Well,
in the
I think that's really
BTS.
powerful. I liked the opening. She filmed it in Compton, which I didn't know. At first, I was.
On a tennis
Mhm.
court,
At first, I
apparently,
didn't
right?
realize. I didn't. I thought she just like was like, "I'm not performing on your Oscar stage. I'll show up, and you're lucky I'm here." Then I realized that there was intention behind it. That was really dope. And of course, the color, like the tennis ball color, the beads in the hair. I didn't realize that Serena and Venus got the type of criticism that they did for having those beads. Like they were almost like
Mm-hmm.
disqualified and shit for having them, which is just outlandish. But that song don't really slap to me. But I want Beyonce to get. I do. She wants that Oscar so badly, and I want her to eventually get it. Probably for a best original song of something. She probably will not get it for a
Is she gonna
performance.
stop trying to dominate the whole
Well,
entire
the
fucking
EGOT thing
world?
is that's a thing. The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, and very few have that. And I can understand wanting it.
Has she won a
No,
Tony?
but she could easily just produce something and win a Tony. I mean, when you have money like that, you can,
Beyonce.
and people forget that her and Jay helped produce Fela, which Fela won awards, but I don't think it won Best Musical.
That was a
You
great
saw you saw
performance.
that on
I
Broadway?
saw that. I
Very
did.
good,
I
very
saw
good,
that one.
very
Yes,
good.
I was there. I was there.
But
Yes,
I just
got to witness that.
Beyonce, and there were all these funny memes going around about her and being there, and
I
I
loved
was
it.
like,
She's just
All of
witnessing
it.
all of
She
the
has
fuckery. I mean,
endured.
she was
She
a part
has
of it.
endured.
But they've been a part of the debacles. They've been a part of the when Solange was whooping Jay-Z's ass, she ain't
Oh,
new to this
that
game.
was one. That was an award show though. But that was the Met Gala, which is kind of big. And then you have
It was
The
huge.
Kanye and Taylor thing, and then when Little Mama hopped her ass up on that stage, it's just it's just like Beyonce has
Never to
bear witness
expect.
to Black History debacles and has endured. And I noticed she was like, I did not come out my house for this, but all right. It's just funny. It's just funny. And I don't know why, but it's so funny to think of her sitting there because she just tries to be so buttoned up. She's so media trained that if she cracks at all, it's hilarious. And she looked high as a fucking kite too. I'm here for high Beyonce. I'm like, yo, I don't know when she started taking these edibles, but she was like, she can't not open her eyes after her. And I'll be like, baby girl, goddamn. And then Jay's sitting there looking like Basquiat, all concerned, like,
Oh my God. I said, Jay, what is
he's
that?
Basquiat
Jay,
now.
he was looking around. He was like, that picture of him.
But also, it's out of
Just like,
context. Like, who knows? That could have been any number of any number of moments and reactions from the show. I actually heard that the show itself was really good. That the host did incredibly well. I know that why didn't I write this down?
Amy Schumer,
Regina Hall and
Hall,
Wanda
and
Sykes, right?
Wanda. Go shut up,
And I
Wanda.
love the fact apparently she got on there. I saw a clip. I think Wanda hosted it. Scream Man. Scream Man. Yeah. Wanda Sykes.
Scream person, because it's a gender non.
You're right. I apologize, Queen. Yeah, but she got on there and was just like, this is going to be a really gay Oscars if you're in Florida. Because Florida passed the bill that like K through third grade, you can't talk about being gay, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I heard that they were just phenomenal. That the show was produced really well. It was really well thought out. So that's great. And then it was really what was unfortunate was that the situation with Will and Chris happened. We'll get into it. Right before Philly's own Questlove Love won his Oscar. Shout out to Kappa. Shout out to Philly. Yeah. If you've ever been in the presence of Quest, he's such a kind, soft-spoken man who is really, I think I've said this before, really cognizant of his presence and wants to make sure that everyone's comfortable. And it's kind of sad because I think that he's afraid to get as big as he is, but he did in this way. And Jimmy Fallon was on The View, and Jimmy Fallon said he just started weeping, like crying. And so he said, you don't understand, like, Quest would do their show and then on breaks go out and he'd be editing this documentary, looking at clips, researching this, like working tirelessly on it. So he won an Oscar for his documentary, Summer of Soul. And it's a documentary about the legendary 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival, which celebrated African American music and culture and promoted Black pride and unity. I have never even heard of this festival. I haven't seen the documentary, but I definitely want to check it out now and support. Shout out to him. That's incredible. And I really believe that I know, like I was in his home. This is a slight humble brag brought to you by, but I was in his home once only because I'm fancy adjacent and I was with Jasmine, and he is the person that has this incredible record collection. He has this home in, I don't know if he still has it. What's the area where the Piazza is? Northern Liberties. And it's really, he only has it to store his records, and his record collection is, it's immaculate, and he knows where everything is. And that's where he has researched all of his music. His parents were musicians. He's inherited their collections, and he's really dedicated to not just music, but the story of music, the traditions, and making sure that people understand like what's behind the music. And I think that
Mm,
informs a lot of the decisions that he makes when he DJs. And it's funny
for
because it's like
sure.
sometimes his
Yeah.
DJ sets aren't the livest, but they might be the most musical. And
Hmm.
so,
Yeah, no, he's a walking
yes,
encyclopedia.
yes. So shout out to him.
Think about
Also, shout out to Ariana DeBose. I don't know which one, y'all.
Not
I don't know.
Debozy or
Cause
the
it ain't no, I
overs.
don't see an accent. I don't see a little thingamajig jig on top. So I'm scared. I don't want to
Lettuce.
mispronounce people's names, and then I get called names. But shout out to her.
Well,
Well, it's terrifying. You see what
let's
I'm saying?
see.
Like there's no little doohickey.
Deboose.
The
Debose.
boss.
Debossy.
The boss
Deboss.
is fire.
Debose.
Tricky.
Mm,
We
God
could have
help
looked
us.
that up on Google. But she became the first openly queer Afro Latina to win an acting Oscar. She won for, I believe, Best Supporting Role by a woman. And she said in her speech to anybody who has ever questioned your identity, ever, 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 or find yourself living in the gray spaces, I promise you this, there is indeed a place for us. And that is a play on what she won for. So she won for, oh my God, West Side Story.
Please for
Thanks,
us.
Shanti.
Oh, that's my shit. I love West Side
So that
Story.
remake was really successful, and shout out to her. She looked thrilled, and it was just like I appreciated her speech, and I just appreciated her.
Yeah, she shout out all the multiracial people that nobody knows what you are. She was like, if they don't know what you are, they don't know how to
Uh-huh.
identify you.
There's,
There's a place for you. We're both actually
oh, I hate
wrong.
it.
It is Ariana. Uh-oh. Say it again. Hold on.
DeBose.
Ariana
Davis.
Davis.
Wow. See, that's why English is dumb. It's hard. Who would look
It
at that and
is.
think that was
It's not natural.
Davis?
It's not intuitive.
Yeah, it's silly. I,
It was probably some ethnic term, and then some white person kept
and
pronouncing
ruined
it
it.
wrong, and then it became the standard.
Agreed.
Fucking
Also, shout
Anglo-Saxons.
out to Denzel, Grandpa, because he was holding them damn Oscars down. And Denzel was recently on Jesus and Mero, or Mero, De Sus and
Yeah,
Mero. Did you watch it?
a little bit, yeah.
And you just saw this side of him, that very like New York. He's from Mount Vernon, but that New York Denzel's. Like you understand why he's suave the way he is, but he the way he could just fit in. You can tell that he can still hang out at a block party.
He was trying to name all the
Yeah,
gangs
he
and
was with
shit.
the
I
he was
was like,
completely with the
Denzel.
shits. But I appreciated him um having pulling Will to the side and like coaching him, holding space for him. I know Tyler Perry went over there too, because you know Tyler. And then also, what's the white man's name that would I would marry? Maybe the guy that was on A Star Is Born, Bradley Cooper. He did as well.
Oh, Bradley pulled
Yeah,
up
Bradley
too?
pulled up and gave him a hug and a kiss and like wiped a tear from his eye. Bradley that's an intimate white man. He is, and he loves Philly. Did you know? I think he's like feels like he's from
He
Philly,
does.
but he's not. But
He ain't for Philly, but he can love it,
I think
yes.
he spent a lot of time here, grew up here, so he's like an Eagles fan and everything else. But anyway, Denzel also went to Chris Rock and was like, "We're gonna work this out. This is we're gonna have a family meeting. Just continue. Everything's going to be fine." And I really appreciated that because sometimes that's really all it ever is. Some shit goes down. You got to establish some shit. The old head comes in, helps y'all work it out. That's it. You move forward.
Yeah, it's like
And
children. We're all just young children
that's
acting
it.
out. We're all just our inner child. But you know who I I'm not really respecting
Uh-oh.
these days is Puff Daddy.
When did you
Now,
respect Puff
until he
Daddy?
acknowledges, I just listen to Mase.
That
Listen,
Mase
I'm really
track
trying
is
to get this Mase.
terrible.
No, it's
I'm
not.
obsessed. Yes,
You
I
listened to it
did.
and thought it was
I was like,
terrible?
Mase, with the
Are you
auto-tune on it,
serious?
Shanti. I know that you have a
No,
soft
what
place
he
in your
was
heart for
saying,
Mase. But Pastor Mase,
no, his bars that he said, how you gonna starve a nigga that was on Wick? How you gonna, no, those bars were hard. He went in and he
girl,
needs to be
Mase does
acknowledged.
need
And
to be
I'm
acknowledged.
gonna mention this every single podcast until this shit goes viral. Because Puffy has to acknowledge it. And I don't want to hear nothing about brotherly love.
Brother love.
And family and making amends until Puff Daddy is accountable.
No, Puff said
to one of the greatest rap artists that made Puffy who the fuck he is, Mase.
wow. Who knew that you were Mace's champion? I'm here for this.
What
you know about going
that
out
song
here
goes like
TV. Go ahead, girl. I'm gonna get you a Mase t-shirt.
Not a Mase t-shirt, please. I need a Tyson. I need a Mase t-shirt.
If you really bad it, you need to get like a Mase gem in your tooth. Some dedication to Mase.
Like a money sign.
This is the money Puffy owes Mase.
No, it's a cross now.
Is he? Because that track didn't sound like that.
He was just using the N-word, which is just a colloquialism. So
spell it.
Colloquialism. I could do if I could spell it out. COOLO.
COO? Wait, I gotta type this.
COO.
You said COO. Wait, COLL.
No, I corrected myself. COLLO. QUI. Colloquial. ALISM.
Yes, a queen! A spelling queen! What? I'm here for it.
Stop fucking playing with me, all right? Put some respect on my name and Mase. And y'all need to go listen.
Ain't nobody listening to that.
It's a diss track.
You want it to be
diss track.
ether.
It's not something that's supposed to go.
You want it to be ether. No.
It is. It goes hard. It goes hard.
Make sure.
And Puffy needs to be accountable.
That on the stories, we need to ask people if they feel like that this track goes hard. It's very important.
It doesn't matter if it goes hard. Puffy needs to be accountable. He needs to say something, and he needs to spread that brotherly love.
Let me tell you how Puffy hopped, skipped, and jumped over his whole life. It was like, I don't know what that was, but this is who I am now. So we're gonna ignore everything else and only acknowledge what I'm doing now. And Puffy's still shady. He still hopped on the gram and was talking about the incident and was being shady. He's still Puffy. He just, girl, that love thing.
And he ain't shit on the low then. Keep it accountable. He ain't shit on the low then. What he did to Mase.
Not just Mase.
Bad
did it to all of them.
Bad boy. Anyway, a leech. He said all you know how to do is market death. I said, wow. Wow, Mase.
What else he say?
Listen,
you know what? You need to rap that full fucking... You need to learn it.
I'm going to learn it.
And rap it.
I listened to it today and I was like...
So you just put that on it? You just put it on and vibe out? You just like, yeah. Like when you're going to get amped up?
No, I was talking to somebody else today and I was like, did you listen to the Mase? Because we were talking about Will Smith and I had to make my point about shut the fuck up, Puffy, because you got your own fish to fry. Like you have your own shit to deal with in your own side of the world. Mase said, stop claiming Harlem, nigga. You from wherever Puffy's from. He's from the suburbs. He said, get the fuck out of here. He named Shine.
Who else?
He named Craig Matt. He was naming everybody. He was like, you fucked up everybody's career. And I was the best one that you ever had on your roster. You ain't had one since. You haven't had one like me since.
That he was the best on Puffy's.
After Biggie died, he said, I was the hottest person on your roster.
Was Mase hotter than Kim? Since. No. What?
Mase was bigger than Kim. Because he's a man.
Yeah,
and sexism is
impact,
real. I don't give a fuck about you.
Mase is having a show or Kim's having a show. What show you going to? It's Mase. Who was... was she signed to?
Listen to me. And I don't even think she was signed to Bad Boy.
She was Junior Mafia in them, and which was under Bad Boy.
She done.
Unless I'm confused.
But listen, Little Kim, we love Little Kim, but Little Kim wouldn't be Little Kim without Biggie writing them rhymes for her and giving her the flow. That. So, but Mase didn't have Biggie writing his rhymes. Actually, I don't know if that's fact, but I'm assuming that he didn't. So
wasn't Mary on Bad Boy? I think you're just saying stuff.
It's not really.
But shout out to Mase. He was important. I don't want to discredit Mase because I don't want to upset you today. I don't want to upset you. I just want you to acknowledge that track is not as incredible as you want it to be. It was the auto-tune. He didn't need that auto-tune or that hook.
He's been out the game for a minute. He doesn't know. He's a country bumpkin at this point. He don't know.
He knew enough to put auto-tune on, and he's like 10 years late. Anyway.
But I know. That's why. He was living life with Christ. He was in his cave. All right?
Politics as usual.
Anyway, shout out to me.
Joseph Robinette Biden is refusing to walk back comments saying that Putin should not be in power. Which the White House is really trying to get him to walk back. They released a statement like he's a very passionate president. And Joey got on and was like, nah, I meant it. Which Joe is fine when he stays on script, but baby, when he goes off script,
people assholes, motherfuckers. He's like, I kill that nigga Putin.
I'm like, Joey, the Scranton, isn't he from Scranton? The Scranton's coming out, bruh. Like, what's wrong with you?
I'm pretty
sure he's from Scranton, PA. But shout out to Joey. You know, I don't know if it's great for diplomacy, but I appreciate the fact that it feels like you know what you're getting with the guy. And you might not always like it, but if he ain't reading from that teleprompter, he meant what he said. So we'll see how this impacts talks between Ukraine and Russia. How do you say his name? Vladimir? Because not Vladimir.
Volodymyr.
Yes,
Volodymyr.
Zelensky has said that he is willing to take joining NATO off the table if Putin will come to the table. They are just absolutely destroying that country, and certain cities are just turned to ash. And so, now we're at a point where he's just like, all right, we have to figure this out. But he is still refusing to acknowledge Ukraine as a part of Russia. He's like, no, we are a sovereign nation. So talks are still underway over there. But something that's really bothering me, I was in an uproar. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, his wife, who's always been problematic, if you are liberal. If not, then you love her. But in my mind, that relationship has been an interesting one because she is heavily involved in politics. She is being investigated by the committee that is investigating the January, 4th, 11th? I don't know. I don't even remember what day. But basically the insurrection, January 6th insurrection. And she has 29 text messages between her and the White House chief of staff at the time, who basically the chief of staff is basically the person that's running shit. They're orchestrating everything. Mark Meadows. And there's 29 text messages that are available. There's more, but they're not giving them up because it's so dumb. Like you volunteer certain things that you can have these subpoenas, but nothing's going through. It's just so convoluted and stupid. But basically there's 29 text messages where she is in direct contact with the White House chief of staff, and she is spewing the narrative that the election was stolen. She attended these Stop the Steal rally, as she calls it, but she left, she claims, because it was too cold before the insurrection started. She was instructing Mark Meadows to make sure that they fight, that they don't give up power to the Biden administration. She spoke about they're fighting for the soul of the country. Lots of QAnon kind of language in there. She also referenced her best friend. She said, I've spoken to my best friend about this, and he's in agreement. On several occasions, her and her husband often referred to each other as each other's best friend. So obviously people are speculating. You talked to Clarence Thomas. And Clarence Thomas has a very interesting track record within the Supreme Court. He's not Black folks' favorite, as he has kind of helped to demolish some voting rights. But anyway, he was the sole nay vote, or really the sole vote. It wasn't a nay, it was an okay, who accepted Trump's refusal to have to give up his records. He was like, no, he can keep them sealed from the committee that is investigating the insurrection. So the issue here is that the Supreme Court justice really governs themselves. That's a real issue. He needs to recuse himself from any and all cases having to do with investigating the insurrection and investigating Trump. And he has not yet. He has recused himself some 59 other times in the past for other things, but he won't recuse himself from this. Recuse means when you say, I have a conflict of interest here, I can't be a judge on this case.
Oh, okay. Word.
And he hasn't, and it doesn't seem like he's going to. But this shows a bigger issue that the quote unquote forefathers, which I hate that fucking phrase, but that they didn't even see corporate greed being involved in politics. They couldn't see that far. But now you have a situation where, the Supreme Court is so politicized and they govern themselves, and there's no, there is a chief justice, but the chief justice can't say you're not on this case. It's just not how it works. When you're on the Supreme Court, basically as it is right now, as it stands, it's up to you to do the right thing. And that's a really failed system because we're all humans at the end of the day and everything is so partisan. So I am just really been out of shape over this and angry. And I think that we really have to change how the Supreme Court operates. But whatever president spearheads that is going to catch hell because they look at the forefathers and the Constitution as the Bible. You can't change that. You can't implement these. Every amendment is a big deal and you're going to argue it for years and this and that. So I really don't know, but it is mind-boggling how this is acceptable. And it doesn't surprise me that the Supreme Court has one of the lowest approval ratings that it's ever had. Ever. And it's for shit like this. So stay tuned for that. But I think her name is Jeannie Thomas. And I think it's really important that we watch her. And she appears on Fox all the time. She's like a major player in all of this shit. And so there's no doubt that you're going home and you're having pillow talk. This is insane.
Right.
But they claim that they don't talk about work with each other, which is just there's no stop.
Right.
So here we are. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I don't know. Moving right along. We want to shout out patrons. We have new patrons, and we want to thank you all. We have some exciting things in the works. I mentioned the rebrand, new logo. We're going to have just a better visual experience for everyone. New merch, things of that nature. So you make that possible, and we appreciate you. So shout out to Lens, Cheyenne, the Shay D Dame, Stephanie M, and Lauren M for being our new patrons this week.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I like that.
Don't forget, we're also going to be, if you can't be our patron, but you want to come and enjoy us live, as well as an amazing roundup of music in Philadelphia, which is on the motherfucking map these days, okay? You can come check us out at the Roots Picnic. It's an annual festival that was, in fact, started by the legendary Roots crew. It will be June 4th
The
and 5th.
Oscar-winning Roots group.
We will be performing on Saturday, which is the 4th. So get your tickets at therootspicnic.com.
Yep. All right. So we have a voicemail. We have 2 voicemails. I'm going to play one. Save the other one for next week. So here we go.
And
Oh, heavens. Oh, God. Oh, I have anxiety. Oh, stop. Can you write the time down? We got to get that out. Okay, ready? Set. Playing.
Hi, Shanti. This is Wendy. I called several months ago, and you guys, I think it's episode 148, played my message, and I seemed so sad and sorry, but I wasn't. Every gush that I said about Antoinette, I meant it from the bottom of my heart. You guys nailed it on the head with my feelings of self-worth. It's just spot on. One other thing that I recognize in myself now, I'm 45, and the abuse that I faced as a child made me so insular and like I've been hiding myself all this time. So I see someone in you that experienced some of the things that I've experienced, and you were still able to take care of yourself and keep yourself beautiful and clearly love yourself and keep yourself healthy. And I've spent so much of my time hating myself, not caring for myself, not caring about anything in regards to myself. So you're just like somebody who I really, really admire, because you've been able to give a damn about yourself. That is so hard when you are beat down and things happen to you that you have no control over, and it just makes you question your worth. So I admire you so much, Miss Antoinette. I'm just pleased for your existence. Shanti, please continue to crack me up, and you have a fan. Thank you so much, ladies. Bye-bye.
Wow. Full disclosure, I did not listen to that before we played it. Wendy be getting me, baby. Wendy. You know, maybe this is for a reason, but today I was scrolling on the Instagram, and I saw something and I screenshotted it because we talk so much about self-care and healing yourself. Oh, please tell me I screenshotted it because it was really good. I can't stand myself right now. Please. I don't see it. Of course, when I need it, I don't see it. But we talk a lot about that, and it's really hard to figure out how to do that. And we do our best on here it is, to help guide folks and guide ourselves, guide each other. And this person wrote, healing isn't as simple as learning to love yourself. It's going back to the places you stopped loving yourself and remembering why, and then holding that part of you close and rescuing them from the old pain. The remembering is what makes it hard. The holding is what makes it brave. And Wendy, I just want to say that I do not always feel this way about myself. The people around me know somewhat how often I struggle and how often I have to go back and hold space for myself and be brave, and how angry it makes me that I have to do that because I don't think it's fair. And it is very hard, but it is very rewarding. And I, I, based off of your messages, again, I don't know you left 2 voice messages, but I can hypothesize some things that you may have experienced. And I hope that you have it within you, the capacity to go back and hold space for yourself and that young child, and to know that when you listen here, to just be reassured that you're not alone, and to know that people care and love you too, because these kind of messages are important. I already think you're really brave for even calling and even sharing. And I already think that you're really incredible for even taking time out of your day to like offer me love, because you most likely are doing that because you don't want me to feel how you have felt and possibly feel. And there's something really beautiful about that. And there's something that I really appreciate you. You should know that. And that kindness that you show me, I pray that you show it to yourself. And so, call anytime and just know you're loved. And there's always time to go back and hold that inner child and help her. So, thank you.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Antoinette.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Important.
So, if you have a message that you would like to send us, if you want to hold us accountable, if you want to do any of the things, please call us at 215-948-2780. That is 215-948-2780. And with that, Shanti, why don't you take us into a break, please?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jasmine, who? Boo.
Bitch.
Oh, she howled that note, baby. What? She said, it's how when you do it, your chin comes out like this.
I ain't fucking playing with y'all.
No, do you see that with you like you send that chin forward?
I can't see you.
Yo, I want to find this Wendy so badly and just hug her. She is
through it, but Wendy's
that's the
moving
thing.
through it. Wendy's going the awareness that Wendy's having, the insight that you're providing her on what it feels like to move through it.
And when
Wendy's
you move through it, you have to revisit it.
Wendy.
That's the thing. You move through it, and then you be
Constantly.
like, "How did I get back here?" You're like,
"No." But you have a tool now that you didn't have before, right? Like that car gonna break down, but you got your tire may get low, but you got your little pump now. So it's like, all right, here we go again, up this hill to oblivion, to God knows what. Oh, sorry, I don't know what that time was. 1:52. I made
really.
That up.
You did, because it's 104 right now.
Right.
It can't be 152. We didn't do an.
No, we were talking.
No, I'm looking at it.
We were. It was 152.
Shanti, we haven't recorded an hour and 52 minutes of episode yet. Why would you say that?
Oh, it was 103:52 or something like that. Something 103.
Just 103. Just say after song, after singing, and bitch. This poor editor, I know he's like, what are these girls talking about? This is stupid. Did you ever give him a review?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I think so. They didn't want too much. And they're like, I answered all the questions. And they're like, well, give your personal response. I'm like, no.
Also, I didn't tell you, I got my car service. You would have been so proud of me. I felt so grown.
Did Did you go to the dealer? Is that what I
Yeah,
have to
when you
do?
have a newer car, you go to the dealer. You go to the dealer because wait, your car is a certified pre-owned vehicle. So you go to
Mm-hmm.
the dealer because they keep track of all that. Do you have a warranty on your car? So you
Mm-hmm.
definitely go to the dealer because, uh-oh, can you see me? It looks like I'm breaking up.
It is
Can you
looking
see
like you're
me?
breaking up. It's been doing that. I can
Yeah.
see you. Can you see
You go
me?
to the dealer and then they keep record of all of your services. If you don't service your car, and maintain it like I think it's every 5,000 miles or 6 months, they'll be like, you didn't keep your car up, so your warranty is null and void. Like,
Well, that's a shame because I gotta go. I gotta get my oil changed out.
yeah, make sure you do that. But the other thing is go to the dealer and then you say, I saw on your website you have this coupon. Can you please apply it? I was so proud of myself. And I showed up there at 7:30 in the morning. I was
What you talking about? Coupon.
See, you got to go. It's called Google. So you type in GOGLE. You go to the dealership. You look on their website for service coupons, and then you read it. And most often they'll have like a regular. You're not listening. You're on Instagram. I'm deeply
Yes, I am. I'm
disturbed.
looking up what you
And
just
then
said.
you'll go there,
That's
and
what.
then you'll see the different coupons that they have for services, and they won't do it automatically. So you need to be like, I saw the coupon. Stop playing with me.
I
And
saw the
then I even
coupon.
said, and is there any kind of, I got one too. I was like, is there any kind of service for car cleaning? And they were like, oh, we have a partnership with a local car wash place. If you take this, it'll be free for you to wash your car with the service. I said, thank you. And then they did a terrible job. My shit was still so dirty. I was like, what? But, you know, I
You
got it
got it
done.
done
I
though.
spoke up. All right. Are
I'm
you
gonna do
ready?
that.
Because I have so much to say about this. You saw me. I was mad.
Yeah, I know you was hype boost. I said, girl. Okay, go ahead. You write the time now, please,
You thought I was
Queen.
hype boots?
No, I said, wow, she posted another one. Oh,
Because I
and
was
another again.
mad.
An hour
Because
later.
people were
Oh,
really like coming for me, like expect more from you. The problem was that I wrote under Sean King's post. And whenever I do that, for some reason, people respond. And I just had like this long thread of motherfuckers coming for me. And I was like, and then they were in my DMs. I said, no, you're not. And then I had family issues today where I had family members coming for me.
oh shit. I'm excited
Respectability
to
as
hear this.
politics.
Let's
And we
go.
are back. So, as we mentioned, last night at the Oscars, Willard Smith, Philadelphia's finest, the God, was sitting there with his lovely wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, minding their black ass business in the front row, looking fabulous, just there in support of Willard because he was up for Best Actor. What an honor!
Set the scenes,
And
bitch.
Christopher Rock, comes on out with his high pitched voice, smiling like this, doing his thing and telling his jokes. He's a comedian. And Chris Rock made a joke, a very quick joke about Jada and saying that, G.I. Jane, he can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2 or some shit like that. And of course, Jada has been very outspoken about her struggle with alopecia, even though she has approached it from a very a place where she's accepting it. She's learning to accept it. She's rocking her turban. She's shaving her head. A place of strength. It's still deeply painful because let us not forget she was like one of the main people for Carol's daughter, and her hair was down to her back. Like a black woman's hair is a thing. We know Around the Way Curls is the name of the fucking podcast. All right. Now, so a lot of people have thoughts of like, that's not that big of a deal. He's a comedian. Fine. But Will and initially laughed. And I think that he laughed. It seemed that he laughed because he was just like, ha ha ha, like that's what you do at the Oscars because you're very clear that you're up front and you know that the cameras are on you. Obviously, the camera's on you because they're talking about your family. And then you saw Jada's body language and her roll her eyes. Now, this is not, let me preface this, it's not the first time Chris Rock has addressed Jada Pinkett Smith on that Oscar stage. He addressed her in 2016 when she wanted to boycott the Oscars. And he basically dismissed her, saying that, who cares if you boycott the Oscars? Aren't you on television? Are you even still on television? You're not relevant. You're not even invited, but you're boycotting. You're here with your husband. Like, fuck out of here. Who cares? And I'm sure. Now, I'm not even married, but if somebody says something about you, I'm ready. So I'm sure that is not the easiest thing to reconcile within yourself as somebody who loves the person that's the butt of the joke. You have to also consider, I think what people are considering is that this is in front of Jada's colleagues. This is in front of Will's colleagues. This is in front of Jada's superiors, people that might give her job opportunities, people that might not, Will's job, all this kind of stuff. And so this is also in front of the world. And this is a family that has been through it the last couple of years. From the internet, from the really disrespectful questioning on the red carpet. This is a family that lives very much in the public space. I get that. They choose to do that, and they choose to do it bravely. They choose to invite people in and offer their perspective on things. So, of course, they're going to open themselves up for commentary and ridicule. Will Smith then, I wish we could have seen the shift. I wish the camera was on him from the shift of that like awkward laugh to him being like, the fuck? And he slowly strolled up on that stage and slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth, turned, and walked back. I thought that was the most disrespectful part, when he turned his back to him, like, you better not even, I know you're not even going to try it. And went and sat down next to his wife, and then proceeded to, as Chris Rock addressed him and was like, you just like, I just got slapped by Will Smith, and tried to like brush it off and was like, it was a G.I. Jane joke. No, it was a joke about Jada. And then, Will Smith does what Philly people do, and they say, keep my person's name out your fucking mouth. And repeated that twice. Well, the interwebs were in shambles. The Black community was very divided today. Was Will Smith wrong? Was he right? What does protect Black women mean? Oh my God, we're embarrassing ourselves in front of all the whites at the Oscars. This was toxic masculinity. This wasn't love. This wasn't this. People, and Will should have had that same energy for August Alsina and all this shit. And I was so irritated by it, because in my mind, I'm like, first of all of these narratives are fucking dumb. And the worst one this was the one that was getting me. Violence is never the answer. Nigga, what? Violence is often the answer, sadly, because and we'll get into it. But there's so many points, because this is so nuanced, and I fell into the trap of trying to have this nuanced conversation on IG, which is dumb. I wasted my time. But I want to try to have it here, because I know that there are people who disagree with my take, and that's fine. I'm not trying to convince anybody that I'm right. I just want to say I'm trying to just explain how I feel and see how you feel and have a discussion. But
what's your take?
On which part? Where do we want to start? Do we want to start on was Will wrong, or like where do we want to start? The respectability politic? Where do we want to start with this?
Was he wrong?
In my mind, No. Would I have handled it? Would I probably handle it differently? Yeah. I probably would have not walked up on the stage and done it. I probably might have waited until the commercial break, but I'm not going to fault him for doing that. I think that we don't live, when we talk about these like celebrity events, I don't think we can ever really understand the magnitude and the microscope that they live under and how much they have to endure to just live their lives. And I just feel like he has endured. I think when you think about Will Smith, this is the motherfucking genie from Aladdin. Like, this is somebody who exudes light and love. You go to his IG page, you feel good. You can tell that that is what he wants. He just wants people to feel good around him. And he wants, anyway, he wants people to feel good around him. And he's also a Negro from Philly. The work that he has had to do on himself to get to that place of where he has evolved into this light being is so real, and continue to be that person while he's been ridiculed. I just feel like he's at a point where his children are older. They are being more vocal. Willow's on the Red Table Talk. People talk about her being polyamorous. People talk about her. Well, is she this? Is she that? People talking about his wife. People talking about his wife's mother. People talking about him. All this kind of stuff. And you don't know the level of disrespect that he's getting in the street. You don't know what conversations he's had or hasn't had with Chris Rock in private. You have to understand that if you don't set a fucking tone, that joke wasn't even written by Chris Rock. It was written by someone from the Oscars. So some white person, the writers, because I looked at their names and they all look very white, saw this opportunity to make fun of his wife in this way. And why did they think that was okay? Sometimes you have to set the tone. And you have to be prepared for the consequences of it. I'm not saying that there won't be consequences for your actions and you have to accept them. But sometimes you have to make it really clear what is acceptable and what is not. I don't think the joke was as terrible. Who fucking knows what Jada was dealing with when she was losing her hair? I would be heartbroken. Who knows how many times he held her while she was fucking crying? Who knows how many times he's had to tell people on set, that's my fucking wife. Y'all might think that shit is funny on the internet, and I'm not clapping off at the internet, but like, I don't play that shit. Who knows? So I think this was a great opportunity for Will to be like, you know what? Let me make it real clear to every motherfucker in here what is okay and what is not. And I'm not mad at that at all. I might not have done it the same way, but I may have if I really felt like that was necessary. Don't fuck with my kids. Don't fuck with my wife. Don't fuck with my first son's mother. And don't fuck with nobody whose last name is Smith. Because you will get the dog shit slapped out of you. That's my take. I ain't mad at the man. Oh.
Nor am I. I don't have anything else. I think what's the anger was important, but I think this full arc that we got to watch in his humanity, right? Like, yeah, everybody's saying, oh, he's from Philly, la 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 la, but also he's a deeply feeling, deeply mindful, deeply human person. And I think that's what seems to get lost all the time with the celebrity culture, with Instagram. Is like these are human beings. And so I think I just love the potential of what happens and the possibilities of what happens when people step out of this what's the word? This idea of right and wrong and step into that gray matter. Because we just saw the juiciness and the life that manifests when you kind of step out of this what's right and what's wrong. And I love the arc of him smacking the shit out of him, winning the Oscar, bawling his eyes out, explaining himself,
as you said earlier,
from his heart.
He gave range.
It's the range of humanity from this beautiful being. And it was messy, and it was wild, and it was unhinged,
and it was honest,
and it wasn't, and it was honest. And so, you know, when I first saw it, of course, I was like, yo, that's Philly. I was hype. I was like, similar. We was just like, I know.
People forgot.
Jada, I hope Jada's not mad at him. I hope she's like, that's, you know, I hope he's feeling good in the decision that he made. I support the decision that he made. Sometimes anger, sometimes violence, just like you said, makes a real direct message of like, no. But at the same time, by the end of today, though, I was sitting with it and I was like, I was feeling kind of heavy around it. And I was like, oh, I know that that's hard for him. And I know that what he wanted is for his wife to feel loved and to feel protected. What he wanted was for people to handle her with care. And it is the complete opposite to enforce that with violence, to enforce care, to enforce mindfulness, to enforce people to have respect with violence. Like that just, it doesn't work that way. So I know he was sitting with perhaps the regret or the dichotomy of that, of like, I know that that's what I wanted, but also like, damn, is that the way that you go around about in doing it? And so I saw before we even started that he made his message, his apology, and finally formally apologized to Chris. And, you know, again, we talking about Malcolm X, we talking about Mike Tyson, and now even Will Smith within this 48 hours, this full circle of like human possibility and the beauty and the messiness and the range of people just trying to do quote unquote what's right, and how messy it is, and how there is no right and wrong. Everybody's arguing and saying all this shit, but like it's too nuanced for us to be grasping at this. You can't, nobody can be right. This can be right and this can be right. Two things can exist at the same time. And y'all just gonna have to fucking deal with it.
How powerful would it have been had he walked on the stage and took the mic and said, what did you get from making fun of a woman who has an autoimmune deficiency? And just shaming the fuck out of him.
Don't you ever say that again.
My wife. Yeah. I want to make it really clear to everybody in here. That's my wife. You've disrespected her on this stage before. We have or have not spoken about it. Don't do it again. Final warning to everyone in here. You have a good night. That could have helped. That could have worked too. But I don't fault him. And I think people are not considering the many times he did that. That's the thing. He has practiced that. We've seen him. And also, this ain't the first time he slapped somebody. He slapped a reporter back in the day for trying to kiss him. Bloop. Oh, you never saw that? He back slapped the reporter a
woman.
He tried to kiss him for some reason. I don't know why. You could easily see it, but he didn't do it hard like he did Chris. He did, but I.
He could have punched Chris, but even the just the slap.
He wanted to disrespect him as he. But the thing about it too is that something that's bothering me, and I'm not saying that he couldn't have done it differently. But again, to not give him some grace in that, of like, Will you know, people have a breaking point. How dare you continue to poke a bear and then be angry when that bitch wakes up? You kept poking it
But
and poking it and poking it. And I think Chris definitely took one for the team. That wasn't just about that comment,
which
which is sad, but also I have a hot take on being a comedian. The same way that Will Smith lives his life in a very public way and opens himself up to ridicule, right? When you are a comedian and you decide to make jokes about people, it's a hazard where you might get slapped. I'm pretty sure that that's not the first comedian that got the shit slapped out of them for some dumb shit that they have said. It's a part of, like, I don't understand this whole thing of, well, I was joking, I'm a comedian, I should be exempt. No, Dave Chappelle can get his fucking shit, his head rocked too for the shit he says. I might find it funny, but somebody else might not. And that's their prerogative. That it's just, in my mind, I'm like, why do you think that you could just say, in the name of comedy, everything that I do is fine? It's not. It might be to me, but it ain't cool to this person, and you have to deal with the consequences of that. And I do feel that Chris took some heat that was feeling.
this ain't know what the fuck was
But
going on.
I'll give it to him. I'll give it.
No, I don't think that he knew that. I don't think he knew that. I don't think
He
he would've
claims that
gone
he does.
forward
He
had
didn't
known
know.
that
He
she was
didn't
dealing
even.
with
He
allergies.
didn't
I
even
don't
write the
think he
joke.
did.
He claims that he didn't know that she was
I don't
suffering
think
from
he
that and all
did.
the other stuff. He claims that, but he knew in
No.
2020. He knew in 2016.
We talked about her. We
Right.
made jokes about her when
And
she
we
was
might
doing her,
need to be
yeah,
slapped.
with her
We was like, oh,
Muslim
she
thing.
Muslim now? Wait, that's what I'm not.
She said, "The
I'm
fuck?"
saying I'm not. We're not exempt from this, and I wrote that on the stories. It makes me think twice about the reckless shit I say on here, and I need to be ready to deal with those consequences. You and I both. Nancy Reagan might come back and haunt your ass.
Well, you know who I just won't be
Tree.
ashamed about and think twice about? Common. I don't give a fuck.
We can
I'm
take comment.
sorry.
But I mean, I'm just, I know that it's messy, but I also know that as people were tearing Jada up for that August Alsina thing, I'm sure that he wanted, and they were tearing her up on his behalf, right? He has said, he got like very stern with Gayle King the other day, where she was like, there's been infidelity in your marriage. She was like, there has never been infidelity in my marriage. And I looked at a timeline full of people blaming her. I was like, that woman was minding her black ass business, and y'all blaming her for this. What? That's crazy. If anybody's the sole victim in this, it's her. Like, she didn't do shit. She just sat there and showed up and reconciled whatever she needed to reconcile within herself to feel beautiful, to come out that day and know that all this other shit was going on this past couple of years. But he said, there's nothing in my marriage. Nothing goes on in my marriage that I don't know about. Nothing goes on in my marriage that is not discussed between my wife and I. Period. There was never infidelity in my marriage. So people want to say, oh, she embarrassed him, she this, she that. He got on that fucking Red Table Talk and spoke about it. It was all a joint agreement. This is radical honesty. And I'm here to tell people, guess what? That radical honesty that they have within their relationship that you think is so crazy and so disrespectful, half of y'all are being lied to or lying within your relationships. Which one do you fucking want? Stop it. That's what's driving me crazy. It doesn't look the way you want it to look. I had a friend of mine hit me. Same friend talking about we came from somebody's fucking rib. Hit me talking about, well, Jada, it's really her fault because she's been dogging him and da-da-da. No, it's the fuck's not. She didn't dog him. Will said he left her. He said that he was, I'm not fucking with you. And they went on and did their own thing and came back. How many of y'all can say y'all did that? Shut the fuck up. It's just irritating. That Jada slander really was irritating me today.
Well, another thing that was irritating me around Jada was the lack of Jada in this conversation in so many ways. Number one, I found it so strange that they had these shots of Lupita's reaction, but there's no footage of how Jada was responding to this. I don't consider what Will did to be toxic masculinity. I definitely think there is some machismo and some like chest pounding involved in it, had he handled it differently, she would have had more say so in like how she wanted to. He would have created space for her. He would have used his power and his will to create more space for her to respond and to her to be like, don't say that shit about me. And he could have backed her up. So I can see how people are saying that, because the conversation is now very much about Will and his decisions, and not about, and him protecting her versus her being powerful in this.
Do you think that?
And so I can see how people are saying that, but I don't think it's toxic.
I think too that like Will
think
he might have wanted to protect her this whole time that she was getting shit on for being honest about that. I mean, she didn't talk about the August Alsina thing. August Alsina came out and said it. That's another thing.
But we don't know that was his impetus. You keep saying that. We have no idea that this is your idea that he's fueled
I'm not
up
saying
by that. And that may not be the case.
I'm saying that helped poke him, and not the August Alsina thing, but the people just, that was what really brought people to them this past couple of year and a half, where everything they did,
which they've willingly shared.
She didn't share that.
Which
August Alsina talked about that, and she addressed it in order, I think, to honor her husband, because if he just came out and was like, I was fucking her, basically, and then I was like, okay, now what do we do? All right, you and I need to come. Let's invite the motherfuckers into our lives and explain it. Regardless, I think that there's always been ways that he's wanted to protect her and his family, and I think there's ways she's wanted to protect him. She was talking about boycotting the Oscars to protect him when she felt like he didn't get the recognition. They ride for each other in that way. And I agree with you that he could have done it. Yes, he could have done it differently. I think the camera panned to him because people were trying to figure out, was this a joke? Are they going off script? Like, what's happening?
She didn't get, I don't understand why there's no pictures of her. I don't get, there's no video. They got everybody's reaction, but
I don't know
hers?
that they have everybody's reaction.
What?
Those reactions that they posted are from Moonlight, first of all.
Well, they have a lot of people's reactions, but they don't have her reaction, which I think is just the weirdest. I don't even understand that. I don't even get that.
Right.
I just wish I can understand how and we don't even know how she feels. She could be mad at him. She could be embarrassed by his behavior. I think that they've probably sat down after everything's settled and have some conversations together that have steered him to be like, he probably talked to some older mentors, some wiser folks, and he probably regrets what he did.
It sounds like it. We can read his thing at the end, but it sounds like it. It sounds like it's not in alignment at all with what his intentions were, but I still ain't mad at it. I also think, moving kind of away from the specifics of that night and their relationship, I thought it was very interesting how many people started talking about, one, the centering of whiteness and how we were embarrassing ourselves. And I get it. Like, some of it's funny, like, oh, the Oscars are the Source Awards now, and like that's funny, but also like I don't equate violence and to blackness. But I had a lot of people reach out to me like, oh my God, Will Smith ruined his night, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck that it was at the Oscars. I don't care. Like, respectability politics really bother me. And they're alive and well. And I'm not interested in living in this double consciousness and like hyper aware of this white gaze of like, what are they gonna say? Like, it's one thing if you're like, yo, you embarrassed us because like, what the fuck, yo, chill. Not you embarrassed us because we're in mixed company. What? Like, we're not free. And I need to be really clear that like, white folks are not the arbiters of good behavior. By any means. Like, you have the Hollywood Hollywood, fucking Oscars and Hollywood and foreign press coming out and talking about how they don't condone violence. Let me tell you something. Almost every movie that you produce where there is a hero, said hero is the hero because they chose violence. Because that is how, like, what are we confused about here? And this idea that violence is never the answer is absurd. It's absurd. Why the fuck are we sending missiles and shit to Ukraine? You might think but this is just a pattern. Like, when diplomacy fails, you get these fucking hands. That is how it works. Violence is often used as a means to deter someone from disrespecting you, to establish a boundary. I wish it wasn't. I am somebody who will avoid violence by all means. And I think that's why it was shocking too, because it was like, well, that could have been avoided. But sometimes we don't know what he has tried to do behind the scenes with this individual or in general.
Or he could have lost his shit. He could have,
and that's okay too.
His shit. Like you guys, we can give him a lot of grace. We can say all these things, but Will might have just went up there and saw red and lost his fucking shit, and then still should be given the grace to come full circle. And Chris should be given the same amount of grace for making a very poor decision after he's represented Black women in the show. Everybody wants to throw Chris under the bus. Chris has made some fucked up choices when I look back at some of the shit that he's done, but also
everybody's learning.
Jesus, right? Give
Everybody
him some grace.
is learning.
Everybody's learning.
But this violence thing, can you just comment on that, like Antoinette, violence thing?
Yes, because it's the glitch in the matrix, girl. That's what I'm saying. Like when this type of shit happens, right? When the veil is lifted and things move out of this veil of respectability, of grace and poise and luxury, and we get a little glimpse of how shit really works, it glitches and people don't know what to say, and it's easy to poke the holes through it. Like, America, this is on fucking, you guys had that on fucking indigenous land, and you killed those and moved these people out to reservations. Like, get the fuck out of here. But I love when that shit happens, because people glitch, and then you're like, oh right, America is a violent state, and it's kind of like a police state as well.
But some
like,
people can't even, and some people are gonna listen to this. They're gonna say, okay, this is a reach. We're not talking about a war. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about that. But I'm like, the same things apply.
Hollywood is where they have that fucking Hollywood sign is indigenous people's land. I don't know the names of those tribes because we're not taught that, and they've been erased from history. So there's your proof right there.
I don't know. Get the fuck I know that here. For me, I was someone in school. There was a point in my life in school where I was really going through it, as a kid. And I was taught, you don't hit first. I was just taught that you don't hit first, you stand up for yourself, but you don't hit first. And the first time I really thought about that and decided that is some bullshit was when I was reaching a point where I was going to change as a human being. I was being bullied for some real shit, and you know what that real shit is. It's like, it was family shit. It was tricky as fuck at my school. And if anybody went to school with me who's listening to this, they know what the fuck I'm talking about. And there was one day, and it was multiple people, but there was one day when I was like, you know what? I'm going to make an example out of you. And as soon as I did it, that shit fucking stopped. Stopped dead in its tracks. And people knew, don't try me. I accepted the consequences, and there were some. Luckily, my dad came up there and helped me out with them. And they felt badly for me because they knew what was going on in my home life and how tricky it was at that school. But there was no, I'm not waiting for you. Like, I was changing as a human. What they were doing to me and what I was experiencing every day I could have shifted into, I'm about to blow this fucking school up. or I'm about
Oh.
to sink inward and retreat from everyone. And, like it could have changed me. And I decided in that moment, no, I'm going to choose violence because I've tried words. I've reached out to the authorities. I've done things that, and nobody is putting a end to this. So guess what? I'm going to. And there is a time and a place for that. And that is what we do often. That is what we cheer for in these movies.
Well, it's tricky. I don't know.
I'm just telling you for me.
I don't know.
Telling you for me.
I understand. I get it. I understand that, but the fact that we're not practiced as humans to figure out what that gray matter is, to figure out conflict resolution, to figure out mediation, to understand that conflict resolution and mediation is not this thing that happens in a day and people adjust. But school's not practiced like that. Kids are taught, you go, you say sorry, the person accepts the sorry, and that's it. And if it keeps on happening, then the punishment gets more punitive and harder and tougher. And again, that's where we're seeing it doesn't work. Violence doesn't work, because if it did work, the world would be a different place right now. If violence worked, it would be.
I doubt that. I don't know if I'll say it doesn't work all the time.
Violence breaks things. It breaks people.
It also works sometimes, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I have to. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I've had people be violent on my behalf and protect the fuck out of me, and shit stopped. I've been abused and raped and everything the fuck else, and I've had someone get real violent and stop it dead in its fucking tracks. I've had people threaten me, and when I bring a crazy motherfucker around, it stopped. Every time I've moved into a new place, I make sure I have certain people come through so everybody knows I'm spoken for. Shit can get real. And it's sad, but that's partly why Ukraine is being bombed the way it is, because they gave up their missiles. Like that's the thing. Like it's sad. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it works all the time. And I am someone who will always use my words first. I give so much grace to people. I am very slow to violence, very slow, but it is not off the table ever.
It's interesting. I don't know. I that's where it gets. I don't go either way. I don't know, because that shit don't work. It doesn't work. Maybe it works sometimes, but the consequence of, if you hurt this person and we're gonna hurt you, that has ripple effects as well. That affects other people. That affects
it does. And I want to be clear.
That it
I want to be
doesn't
clear.
make sense.
I'm not the violence that I'm talking about is not shooting somebody. It's not tooling up and going through and now we at this war. It's literally sometimes you got to slap a motherfucker in their face. It's literally that. That is the extent. I ain't about to start no crazy shit like that. I am not.
You just mentioned Ukraine's missiles.
No, I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is the reason why they're looked upon as weak and their prey is because they gave up the thing. They weren't using them. They just had them on deck. They weren't using their nuclear arsenal, but they had the third largest sitting. And nobody was fucking with them because it sat. So that's all I'm saying is that sometimes people just need to know you will slap somebody. And it does have ripple effects, and it's really tricky. It's really tricky, and it's really nuanced, but
it can't be black or white.
It's gray. It's gray as fuck, and it
can't be.
It depends on the situation. It really does. And you have to do your best to discern what the best possible outcome is. I don't know. I do want to shift to this. I'm curious to know what you think about when people are like, "Oh my God, it was the Oscars. They're embarrassing us. We acting a rank ass fool. That's why we can't ever go nowhere. Oh my God."
It tickles me. That cracks me up. It tickles me. Did that act overshadow the celebration and the recognition of his artwork and the people that contributed to King Richard? Absolutely. 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 Again, two things can exist at once. Did it take away, did it affect the energy of the entire show and how we talked about it and who we're recognizing? Niggas didn't even know the three women fucking hosted the show. Of course, two things can exist at the same time. Is my concern and my acknowledgement that was in poor taste because white people were there?
Right.
No, I don't know, but it was in poor taste, and we're not going to sit here and act like, you know,
you're
not going to sit here and act like that wasn't in poor taste. It happened. It had to happen. He did what he did, but I don't. Again, white people, y'all not going to.
You're just not going to be the barometer for
going to act. For civilization, for what is civilized.
No.
You're just not. You're just not going to do it. Get the fuck out of here.
Especially within Hollywood, and especially with this word of violence and then assault and how people are equating. I don't think Will tried to hurt Chris Rock at all. I think he tried.
He could have
if
really.
If he would have closed his fist, maybe. But I like he slapped him.
Gerald, he could have.
What could he have done with a slap? Like.
He could have.
He didn't.
He could have.
That's what I'm saying. He could have.
He didn't.
But he didn't, which shows that he still had some fucking restraint because he opened that hand.
It was elegant. And it was graceful.
When you get slap versus punch, a punch is somebody is fucking pissed and they trying to hurt you. A slap is I'm trying to sting you a little bit and not and right and make it real clear about who I am. But I also think it's interesting how I saw people calling for his Oscar to be taken away. I'm like, I wish y'all motherfuckers would, because and Hollywood had a emergency meeting. Oh my God, we have to get him out of here. Now y'all want to talk about violence? You didn't gave this man Harvey Weinstein. You didn't gave this other motherfucker. What's Mia Farrow's Woody Allen? All these motherfuckers awards who are violent as well. They got some real issues up in Hollywood. So don't fucking try me. It's the hypocrisy of it is really what's pissing me off too. I see these people like violence is never the answer. You beat the shit out your kids for far less. So all I'm saying is take a second, reflect on your shit, and let's just understand.
What about your credit score?
Not everybody's going to handle things the same way. Everybody needs to be prepared for the consequences, but take a look at yourself first before you try to throw somebody away who is at their fucking breaking point and who was eloquent enough to fucking apologize. Let's read this apology. I don't know who wrote it, but I'm here. I don't agree with all the points in it, but shout out to him for writing it. Violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. Hard to disagree. My behavior
that's crazy. I mean, but anyway, go ahead.
Sometimes,
all right, girl, it works apparently.
In my life, it has worked. It takes me probably years to get there. Okay, I'm not that person. I'm really not, and you know that. No,
that's why I don't understand. I don't understand.
But the reason
but we don't have to talk about that.
I will.
It ain't black and white.
It. But the reason why I think that I don't have to, I have privilege in the sense of people don't fuck with me based off of how I carry myself. People don't really try me, but I have been tried. I was just tried yesterday, and I had to get out the car and call you back when I was trying to park. I have been tried, but because I carry myself in a certain way. And I will raise a hand if really necessary. It doesn't happen. But there are people who don't present that way. So I recognize, like, sometimes if you don't look like somebody who can handle themselves, you get tried, and it's fucked up. But anyway, violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I don't agree with that either. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and the King Richard family. I deeply regret my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Takes a lot of humility to write that. I just know that, grace is biblical, and so is fuck around and find out. Two things exist at once. They do. I'm going to tell you what. If somebody hurts your feelings in a real, real way and won't stop, and it's just berating you and berating you and berating you,
But that's not what happened.
I'm just letting you know. I'm not talking about this specific. I'm talking about in general, this idea of violence. Or if someone is threatening you or Jolie or anything like that, I will do my best with diplomacy. We can go to the police. I'll even snitch. But if that don't work, I will be ready to rip somebody's...
Maybe you should buy a gun.
I never mentioned a gun.
That's
where I draw the line. I'm not trying to kill anybody.
All right.
And I'm not trying to harm anybody.
Interesting. It's tricky.
I just feel like it's cultural. What happened with the time when you be like, oh, just go out in the fucking yard and fight, and then come back, let me know who won, and then it's squashed. All this guns and it's escalating too far. Sometimes you just need to get slapped.
This is crack in the community. Really
you are irritated. Do you want to play? I really want you to play what your mom said.
I wish your white mom. This is my white mom.
My white mom she's with the so shit. Upset. I can't believe it.
She is.
That just. I know, but that just is not the way to do it. Oh my! And he's such a nice man.
This is what my white mom said.
I just want to say I am so damn proud of Will Smith.
Why?
Oh, he's my hero. I mean, there's a man in the freaking world, and his wife is lucky.
Yeah, amen.
Somebody stand up for her like that in front of the whole world.
I know.
But the left will take it. They'll virtue signal and violence, and they'll try and castrate him, and then make the state be the big arbiter of what justice is. That people can't work it out. The vindication's already been done on the stage. They should just bring him back off.
So what are they trying to say? Are they trying to take his Oscar from him now? I haven't been updated.
No, I don't know what's going to happen. I was just speculating that they'll sue him, rock, or maybe not.
Just like you said. Or just try to claim nonviolence when they go around bombing and they be the most violent around everything else.
They just want us to be as weak and helpless and dependent on them as can be.
Fight the power. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
He's really making me proud.
I know that's right. I'll call you later, Mom. I love you.
How dare you? I know that's right. Now you were here talking about, I just think, no,
it's a slippery slope. I see what you're saying, but I can't be like, yeah. And I can't be like, nonviolence is the way either.
But I'm not going to tear his ass down either. I do think there was a different way to handle it, but I do understand the idea of making examples out of motherfuckers sometimes. I bet you everybody's going to think twice about fucking with Willow, fucking with Jaden, and fucking with Jada. I bet it.
I guess. Or you just, I guess, who knows? I don't know. Again, Mike Tyson had a nigga come up to him recently and try to fight him. Mike Tyson and everybody around him remained silent. Somebody came and approached him and tried to get the guy to go. The guy then pulled out a gun and was threatening Mike Tyson and everybody at the
He wasn't
the
threatening
comedy
Mike
show.
Tyson.
He then immediately regretted it, put the gun away. Mike Tyson got up and hugged him. Mike Tyson could have killed him, but he didn't. I don't know. What would Mike Tyson do? That's what I want to know.
Why would so my question to you is, why would that man immediately regret it? Because Mike Tyson has fucked people up in the past. Because he knows the risk.
No, he could have.
I know that, but he didn't need to.
He immediately saw.
He didn't need to anymore because he's already established you will die. He sat there calm.
No, that's not.
I'm telling you, I watched it.
I don't know if that was what came over him.
I'm not saying that's what came over Mike. I'm saying that man
No, I'm saying the man. No, the regret that came over him was that Mike just sat there and looked at him.
No, Shanti, he apologized to Mike Tyson
trying to shoot him.
One, he just pulled the gun out on the people that was trying to get him to leave, and he kept. If you watch the video, he kept saying, "I wasn't serious. I'm just a big fan of his. I wasn't serious," and he was showing the gun because they were trying to kick him out and they were pushing him out. He never pointed the gun at Mike Tyson and threatened Mike Tyson's life.
But he came to try to fight Mike Tyson.
And he said he wasn't well. But he said I was just playing. I'm a big fan of his. He wasn't really trying to fight him.
Jokes get you fucked up. Mike said jokes will give you a hug. Jokes got you a hug, my brother.
That's the moral of the story.
It's really interesting because Mike has. I would love to know Mike's take on this. Like, now I know when they say of all the people in the world, dead or alive, who would you want to have dinner with? I know I want to sit with Mike and like do drugs with Mike. No, but he's lived such a life of violence.
Exactly.
That's how he's made his. That was his avenue in which he's gotten so much life experience, and I wonder what his take is. I wonder what his take
he's
is.
not. He doesn't condone a whole lot of violence and everything else, but he also isn't. I agree. I see that he doesn't condone it. He's not the person that's like, yeah, fuck somebody up now. But I there's no way people don't try Mike Tyson because they know the history of his violence.
He will kill you.
So while it's detrimental to him,
but I don't know what that's
detrimental to him. It's great. It's detrimental to Mike Tyson, where he doesn't feel good about it.
I don't know what
but
the
he ain't
benefit
tried
is
either.
No. But I don't know if that's again, if your goal is protection, if your goal is to not be tested, if your goal is to not be challenged, if your goal is not to get your feelings hurt, and brute force is the way in which
not
you do
all
that,
the time.
go off. But I don't know if that's going to save you.
It's not all
from
the time,
anything.
but it is on the table as a last resort. As a very last resort. Otherwise, what are we talking about with?
I don't know. I'm not.
Otherwise, what are we talking about with Malcolm X? And girl,
I don't know. Maybe I'm Martin. I don't know. I do not know.
As a last resort,
how the Palestinians going to get free?
Shanti Mayers, if somebody is coming for you and Jolie and threatening you and Jolie, you're throwing hands.
Yes, but that's not what we're talking about.
I'm not talking about Will and Chris. I'm talking about violence in general.
Yes, that's the basis of our conversation is Will's choice to choose violence in some place where he didn't have to choose violence. And us saying, we condone it. Go off. Do what you got to do. Make your point. That's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about surviving and protecting my child's life. I'm talking about choosing violence over nonviolence when there's a possibility of nonviolence. He didn't choose that. He regrets it. And I guess we're all like, he went off, but I don't know what's more powerful, his 360 and him being like, I wish I hadn't done that, or him being like, I did what I did. I don't
know either. Again, I know that there was another possibility, but I'm not angry with the choice that he chose. I'm not furious with him at all. I know there was another possibility. I think it would have been incredibly.
And you're not curious.
I already said it. He could have been on stage and he could have took the mic and said what he already established that he didn't choose that. And that was his right. But I bet you there's a certain outcome that he's going to get too. And he has to be ready for all consequences.
I wonder if he'd do it again. Yeah, I wonder what he would do again. I wonder. I'm excited to see what possibilities is opened up for him.
Well, the moral of my story is, what's he gonna do? I will do everything in my possibility in this world to not choose violence. But I will absolutely choose violence if necessary. If I feel it's necessary. And I determine that. And that's where I stand. I determine when I feel like it's necessary. And my determination, I will be in whatever I choose, I will be ready to deal with the consequences accordingly.
Word.
Shout out to Philly. That's it. That's the end of this episode. I think it's an interesting one. It's so funny to me how you will take a nap and your view will shift so quickly. We was texting about this earlier today, and you was like, "Yeah, some niggas need to get slapped."
He did. I am, but it wasn't the right. It's two things can exist at once. Was that both of them are going to reap possibilities. Both of them hopefully may bring Will to the same place. What could have possibly happened? He chose that. It happened. I think it would have been far more interesting, like you just said, that I didn't even think of if he grabbed the mic and did something else. That would have been far more interesting. Far more shit could have happened. It could have been. He could have.
I personally would have loved that. That would have been my first choice.
That would have been amazing.
This is probably
would have been
maybe my seventh or eighth choice.
Thing.
But guess what? It happened, and I ain't mad at him because I respect people's breaking points.
Well, some people are, and I guess you got to see that too. You got to get it. Some people are, I guess, but white people can't say
Shout
that.
out to the people that are mad. If you're mad, that's fine. But I encourage folks to take a quick look at their choices and make sure that you have every right to be mad, because often I see a lot of folks throwing stones, and I'm like, you just beat your kids on the way to church, but say less.
Oh no, not beating the kids.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what are y'all talking about? What are we even talking about?
When they
I think that's really why I was frustrated. Like, it's less about Will and Chris, but it's more about the hypocrisy of of us all. What?
Right? Because it opened. It was a glitch in the Matrix. We all got to see,
it's just so hypocritical. The hypocrisy of Hollywood. The hypocrisy of the people writing these fucking think pieces. It's just like, shut the fuck up.
Violence is how we got here.
And violence is how we're going to leave.
Got here, child. Oh, damn. Don't make that spell. You've been casting some spells, child.
All right. Well, this is a long-ass episode. You are loved. You are loved enough that a bitch will get slapped. And with that, we are out. Baby girl, I'll slap the taste out of somebody right on that Roots Picnic stage for you. I don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
You didn't hear her?
What's wrong with your cat?
Chris Rock. I know there's going to be some funny ass jokes coming from this. And I know that Dave Chappelle is going to be the one. He's going to be like, I can just hear it. He'd be like, that was unfortunate. It was funny, but it was unfortunate. And you know what? I regret that I didn't say shout out to Chris for not escalating that further. Because he could have swung back.
He could have lost.
He could have saw red.
Because when somebody smacks you in your face and you're not expecting it. When you get
slapped in the face, you ever been slapped in the face?
No, but I've been hit in the head when you're not expecting it. You go like.
Oh, I don't. You're shocked. The last person that slapped me in the face was my motherfucking mom. She slapped the dog shit out of me. Bam! And I was like, I was grown. I was like, no, it wasn't recent. I probably was like 22, 23, 24. But she slapped the taste out of me. And the shock that came over, I was shocked and everything paused, and then I grabbed her, and my sister grabbed me, and I realized, like, oh shit, that's my mom. And I let her go, like, oh shit, what, well, I can't do anything to you. And I just got so angry and had tears coming out of my eyes, and I left. But initially, it's exactly what Chris was. He was like, did this just happen?
Oh shit!
But he could have
Daddy, shit's
escalated
like
it.
that
He
and-
really could have.
He didn't know
He
what
could
was
have
going
escalated
on,
it
child. He was like, "What? I'm just reading what the Jewish people
And
wrote."
that's
What the comedian-
the thing that bothers
what
me the
white guys
most is
wrote.
some fucking white person was like, "Oh, Will's not gonna do nothing. Like, we can joke about that. We can ridicule them."
I don't think anybody would think anybody was going to walk up on the stage. And
I bet you they don't write no more jokes about Jada.
I bet you this wouldn't be the same conversation if it was a white person that he slapped.
What would it be? He would be in jail.
He would be in so much trouble if he.
Well, a white person would have pressed charges.
Swipe-
Chris Rock is
swipe
also
just-
a real one for being like, I ain't gonna press charges. We can handle this.
He know better. He would lose his black card, so he.
But
would
I
get
also
ran
think
out of
Chris
town if
knows
he
that,
pressed
like,
charges
sometimes
against
this is
him.
how shit is handled. Like, Chris grew up in Bed-Stuy. He knows sometimes people got to get slapped. And it was my turn to get slapped today. And Will might get slapped one day. Who knows? But all I know is it's got to be some biblical figures that were fucking people up, too. It ain't no way we weren't waging war and shit. Violence...
The Christian Crusade,
Violence-
nigga. They was out here
Violence is a thing.
killing.
Violence is a thing, and it's sad. And I get deeply sad when I see violence. I could not watch World Star. I can't watch that kind of shit. It upsets me, truly. But I know. Why are we taking a self-defense class for the birthdays? Why are we doing it?
To defend yourself. That's what I'm confused by your
Well, sometimes in
Of
defense
course, you
of
have to
sometimes in
defend
defense of yourself, you're proactive, which is my point of like sometimes you sit in a situation and you're like, this is only going to get worse if I don't really fucking stop it.
when your safety is at
No,
risk.
it's
but
not your
his
mental
safety
health and
wasn't at
shit.
risk.
Sometimes it's that. It's sometimes that.
I don't think that made him better, girl. It might have relieved him in the moment, but I think
I don't doubt that he regrets it. I don't doubt that he regrets it. I really don't. I don't doubt that he regrets it.
Nigga walked up there and
He smacked him
spanked
hard,
him. And then turned around and sat down.
That was the most disrespectful thing.
I-
He didn't even stand there and wait for him to do anything. The way he just was like pivot and slowly walked his ass back down and sat down in his wife and next to his wife. Lupita just knew it was a skit. That poor lady, she was like,
She's like,
he caught a stray.
what?
Chris Rock caught a stray.
Oh. Yeah, he caught it. He took one for the team. Did Will's mom not come?
She didn't
Apparently
come. She
there
was at a knitting.
She was
She was with her knitting group in Philly, he said. He was like, my mom wanted to watch with her knitting group, so she's not here. So what was the apparently thing?
Yeah.
First of all, we're going to get over this real quick. We ain't even going to be talking about this in a week. It's going to be something else. Because that coach just fucking, just did the same shit where he slapped the shit out of somebody. He got his little suspension. He accepted the consequence and he kept on moving.
What coach?
No, you don't watch basketball. Oh, God.
What, so Tina was upset?
I'm not going to talk about that on the podcast.
All right. Well, I'll be up for 7 hours now.
People are so upset that this happened in front of mixed company, so it's everybody's business. Girl, no. White people need to shut up. Love you.
They just don't even
No.
understand the context. I guess my mom understands it.
Most
but
people don't.
She's talking to some other
You saw
shit.
how what was that? What's that white comedian's name? She centered the shit out of herself. She's like, all I know is it's gonna be a really, really dangerous place for comedians in this world after this. This is going to make, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, how the fuck did you make this about you?
Rosie O'Donnell said some shit that made me want to slap her. I want to slap Rosie O'Donnell. She needs to be slapped.
So that's what
in
I'm talking
her
about.
face.
Everybody has their buttons, Shanti. You be like, I don't want to.
All right, but is it the best decision? I mean, sure, but is that the consequence that you really want to manifest? And if it is, go off. But is that what we want to do?
I think we're also coming to it from a place of privilege where people don't try us on a daily basis. We're not dealing with disrespect constantly. So I think we would be a little more proactive. I'm like, you know what? You're going to stop fucking playing with me. Everybody clear? Then you sit back down. Nothing felt better than when I took that
Where
fucking
are you going to do that at?
That's
crazy.
Nothing felt better than when all them kids was like, your mom is fucking Mr. Ryan and fucking with me. I'm fat. I'm this. I'm that. I'm all these things. He's fucking with me. And it took for us to have a showdown in that fucking school in public for him to fucking stop.
Your mother, I hate to say, your mother
Of course, she knows
that.
it. But guess what?
She should have been the one that should have been protecting you.
What's your name?
If he was fucking.
How does nobody listen to me when I talk? Yes. Everybody knows that. And let me tell you something. She wasn't gonna do it, which is why
she should have got smacked in the face. I'm sorry to say that, but she should have been the one that
But guess what? He wouldn't stop. The people wouldn't stop, and nothing felt better. I opened up a textbook one day and saw that chicken scratch ass handwriting and knew who the fuck wrote it in the book. And I was like, and talking about my family and that fucking teacher and me being this and that and all this other shit. And that motherfucker, I was not in danger, but my mental health was in danger because I couldn't take it anymore, Shanti. It had to stop. And I picked up that big ass geometry book and that boy was sitting in front of me and went, boom, keep my fucking family's name. And here we go, we scrapping. And nobody fuck with me ever again. When I flipped the fucking table into my house, that motherfucker stopped his bullshit. When my pop lifted him up off the ground and shook his ass in front of that entire school, he stopped his bullshit. Sometimes you have to be proactive and be the aggressor and say, you're not going to do this over here. That's just the case.
Somebody should have shook her up too, though. Because she was the. Everybody
was, but you can't shake up your fucking mom. We know that. Which is why all I did was be like, I'm not going to live with you. I'm going to go live with him. I'm going to go live with my dad because you don't protect me. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're ever in it, where like, you can't sleep. You can't get away from it. That's why I didn't, and I was young, so I can't even imagine as an adult. You can't get away from it. I was going to school dealing with it. I was coming home, he was there dealing with it. And it was for years. And I was at that point of like, I'm really gonna snap if this doesn't stop. How can I get this to stop? I've told the principal, I've told this, I've told that, I've told my people. And then you feel like you are in a bind because if you do act out, there are all these repercussions. And finally, you're like, I'll accept the fucking consequences, whatever they are.
Did you get suspended?
No, believe it or not. All I had to do was a whole bunch of detention and write an apology note. And I was like, whatever, fine. But I didn't get suspended. You want to know why? Because I had on record how many times I had complained, how many times I asked for help. And how many times the principal was like, we've never dealt with this situation. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to help you.
I'm going to bring it up at the dinner table. That's how I'm going to have your back for that.
They've already apologized. Everybody's already apologized. I already said that we handled that so poorly. It was terrible. Terrible.
More than that,
why do you think when we were
just to grind their gears? That pisses me off.
It was terrible. Shanti, I'm telling you,
bring that chicken cordon bleu dinner.
It was terrible. You can't get away from it. I can't imagine going online. I can't imagine going everywhere, and you can't get away from it. That's why I'm just like,
But nobody was saying that at this. That was months ago. Everybody's excited for Will. Nobody's been messing with him. That
you
was some
don't
old
know
other.
that.
Maybe it was accumulation of something. We don't know what the
I
accumulation was.
I can't say this one here, but I can. The person that I was with yesterday is cool with them and said this is not. Will has had private conversations with old boy and told him.
Oh, so it was, but yeah,
Has told him
they got some
from when
shit
he did the
then.
last
Yeah.
thing. You got to relax on that. That was
Word.
a little disrespectful.
that-
And then you came back out there and did the same shit. He said, "You know what? Done. Don't do that shit again. Keep my wife's name." That's why he said it the way he said it. This ain't the first time I said it to you. Keep my wife's name out your mouth, especially since they're cool. They're not strangers.
Chris.
Fuck out of here.
Everybody hates Chris. I hope Chris
Chris
is
is
okay.
fine.
Chris
is fine. His ex-wife is somewhere cracking
Chris
the fuck
is
up,
not
too.
fine.
She's like,
See, we don't have the same energy and compassion
you
for
have
Chris.
compassion for Chris. We gotta protect black men too. Poor thing.
He's fucked
Chris gotta
up.
learn how to duck.
Chris got to recover from this.
Chris is gonna be fine. He's gonna tell a joke.
Now, if that video goes viral, though, that video that he has with what's his name, Seinfeld,
That video's
and the other guy that was masturbating.
That video's not new.
No, if that recirculates and goes viral, child, he's in trouble.
No, he's not.
He's in trouble.
Girl, all he's gonna do is make a joke about this. He's gonna be like, Chris Rock is gonna pivot this, and it'll be fine. He's about to go on tour with He's got a whole tour with
Not if
Kevin
that
Hart.
video goes viral.
Chris Rock is gonna laugh this off, make a joke. Everybody's gonna laugh. It's gonna be done.
Like I said, if that video goes viral, no, he won't, because if I've ever seen anything that's cancel worthy, that was crazy. I had never seen that. That shit was crazy. Did you watch the whole thing? Antoinette's like,
it is bad, but it's not shocking to me. That's why this comedian shit. I'm so happy we didn't say this, but this just happened. Samuel L. Jackson receives his first ever Oscar from Denzel Washington. He received an honorary Oscar. Oh.
I thought you were about to say something bad.
I'm saying that this comedian shit is tricky because they think they get a pass to say whatever the fuck they want. And you don't. There's consequences for your actions as well. Comedians have gotten run up on
people
before.
101.
This is not new. Not everything is funny to everybody. It's just not. Sorry. We might get run up on, and we're going to have to deal with it.
We will. It's only a matter of time.
Shit, people already be... That one girl cussed you out before. It's like, you still... Uh-oh. Anyway, whatever.
Were they the real winners last night?
I can't wait to stop talking about this.
Yeah, I'm tired of it already. Tired of it already. Wish him well. Be good. Oh.
We ain't even talking about Wesley Snipes and that outfit he had on.
I love his outfit.
You saw your man?
Oh, I loved it.
You saw Jonathan Majors? It's something about his face, how he holds his face where he's just confident. Like, he gives duck lip a little bit.
Or is terrified.
He gives a little bit of duck lip where it's like, ooh.
Antoinette, how long was this? 2 hours?
Yeah, I could edit this though.
Why?
Because it just feeling like an expensive thing. I don't know. I can if you don't want me to, and I have the capacity.
No, I think...
You saw Tiffany Haddish? Check this shit. Tiffany Haddish was drunk as fuck.
And that's not
I don't know if she's okay. But also she was at a party, so maybe she could just be drunk.
No, she had just got a DUI weeks before.
Oh. Well, she probably took an Uber.
Tell you, it's Common's motherfucking fault. Fuck him. That's that nigga's fault.
But Tiffany, when she checked that lady, she said, "This is not a costume take." Why is Lil Kim posting Will Smith? She did that song
You
with
need to
Will
post
Smith
Mase
back in the
song.
day, remember?
Mm-mm. She need to post Mase
Oh my
song.
God. That's what we need to do. Play that Mase track. Because this is ridiculous now.
I'm gonna read you the lyrics.
Yeah, Chris Rock is winning. Chris Rock comedy tour sales reportedly skyrocket overnight after altercation with Will Smith. The joke's on us. This shit was
White
playing.
people, and he gonna
This
see a
shit was
sea of
playing.
white people, and that's
It was
gonna be.
playing. Actually, this was all a scheme. Will was like, I could recover.
That's what a lot of people are saying. That's what all the hoteps are saying. I'm like,
Not
oh
every hotep.
gosh.
You saw what the good brother, what Dr. Umar said. He said, I just want to shout out my good
What did he
brother, Will
say?
Smith, representing Philly. Talking about, oh, that's what we didn't talk about. Talking about how to protect our black queens. That's another thing. That was really, we missed the mark. We talked too much about the specific.
I'm glad we didn't
I
talk
want to
about
know,
that.
what does protecting
'Cause I
black
ain't-
women look like? It's got to look a certain way. It's got to be not in front of white people. It's got to be nonviolent. You can't have any toxic masculinity. She has to be centered. She got to speak up for it. Like, what does it look like? Sometimes it looks like slapping a bitch. It depends on the woman. I don't know. Maybe that's a first date combo. What does protecting black women look like?
And then they go and shit his pants if that's the question you
What does
ask him.
protecting black women look
Protecting
like to
black
you?
women
He's
look
gonna be like,
He gonna be
not
like,
dating you. Also, isn't your mom white?
I protected myself,
Yeah,
bitch.
go
Get
ahead,
the fuck
protect
out of
myself
here.
and dip out.
What's that called? Dis.
I will say this though, Will Smith fine as fuck. Still, I'll say you are one
Girl, fine
handsome
as
man.
fuck.
Wow. Like, where are all the men that look like that in Philly? I don't see them. You see them?
No, I don't
You
go
gotta go
outside though.
outside.
He says, since Cain killed Abel, I'm able to kill Cain. Love don't steal, my nigga. Change your name.
Ooh, that was
Puffy
good.
wanted to say he's love. Yeah, I'm just a Harlem nigga repping down a Vegas strip with my own shug. You from Mount Vernon ass nigga. Go and rep your
Mount Vernon
own
ain't that
hood.
sweet though.
I'm not hating on your Billy Worth. Right now, I'm only saying what you really work. You ain't no architect. You just a nigga who know how to market death. Go pay his mother what she really worth, nigga.
It's the auto tune.
Oh, he said, I'm only saying what you really work. You ain't no architect. You just a nigga who know how to market death.
Girl, how many times you gonna say that line?
That's all it takes. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to say for Puffy to be like, listen, man, I'm sorry. Take this $500,000.
I know he's not going off by five. It's got to be more than that.
I
It
hope
better
it
be
is.
more than that.
It could be,
Because Mase deserves more than $500,000. Mase deserves more than $500,000. Definitely. That's crazy.
I don't know
It's
what it
gotta
was. I
be
just made that up.
multiple millions. Mase? I had a crush on Mase back in the day. That was weird. Oh, here we go. This long ass
Then they tried to dangle money.
think piece somebody sent me.
They didn't think I'd ever leave. Niggas never pay the artists, but they love to pay the freaks. You know how much money Puffy is paid to the freaks?
You're shaming women. See, that's violent. Okay.
Girl, shut the
Right,
fuck up.
exactly. You're shaming women, that's violent.
It's true. Puffy paying the freaks now.
Ciao. You saw what Jasmine posted? She had
Wow.
me dying. I was like, why would she post that? Oh, she took it down.
She better had.
She had it up all day. I think no,
Stop
she
acting
didn't.
like you
She
from
actually
Philly.
didn't. It just expired. She was like, I'm gonna stand beside her. She's stupid. Anyway, I'm mad I took that nap. I'm gonna be tired. I wonder what else is gonna happen these days. Poor Will. Will is just a beacon of light and love. Y'all just trying to take that away from him. I ain't gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you.
Well, I hope they have another round table.
Not a round table. You are queen.
I want to know how Jada is.
She gonna talk
Jada,
about
are you
it.
okay? She'll be like, listen, I
Chris-
wasn't even pressed off my fucking hair that much. Like, I cut
No,
it
she
off,
was
I
fresh.
still
She
look
said
bomb.
that
Like,
it was one of the worst times of her life, and she was shaking as she realized that her hair was gonna fall out. She said it was awful.
of course. Of course.
She lucky though, because it ain't a whole lot of people that can rock a baldy like her and her little avatar, beautiful ass daughter. That girl, did you see Willow? Willow posted. She just posted after it all happened. She was just like,
A picture of herself.
she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all this fit because I worked hard on it. I said, Willow is
She's so cute.
That little girl is so. She's the actual avatar. She's so pretty. It's wild to me. Oh my God! Somebody broke their shoe at Jasmine's concert and just left it there. I wonder how they got home. Anyway, child. What it say?
Will Smith slapped me too.
Can you say that to me right now, expeditiously? That's the stuff. Oh, and that, you know what? That's the thing where, like, that's not, I don't consider that making fun of him. That's like good humor. That's just showing, like, black people are so fucking brilliant. It's just.
Jussie is wildin', all right?
Y'all wanted Jussie free, though. So, whatever.
Give him free.
Jussie is free.
He out.
This new
He living his
Batwing.
best life now. He like.
You see this new jacket she got? Jazz.
Oh.
That thing look like wings.
Oh my God, that looks so
What?
terrible. Fibrosis?
Cystic fibrosis. Yo, did you see the thing where I tagged? Did you see on Around the Way Curls that I tried to tell you that somebody's tutorial was ugly and I accidentally sent it to the person? I was like, I just blocked them. I didn't know who it was, but I was like, oh shit, this was a mistake. I blocked them hoping that they wouldn't see it. But it was just like some random person on the discovery page. I was like, I cannot stand myself. Anyway, Queen, my house is a mess.
That is an ugly dog.
Blue has been so needy lately because I have not been here. I just been in these streets. Just in these streets, making poor decisions, hurting my own feelings. Why does it hurt so bad? Why do I feel so sad? I
thought I was over you, but I keep crying. I don't love you. That's my shit. So why does it so badly? I thought I had let you go, so why does it hurt me so? Gotta get you out of my head. Hurt me so bad. That is my, oh, never again. That's what I said to myself. Never want to feel the kind of pain again. No.
That run was crazy. Do it again. It was a liquid run.
Just when I think it's over, just when I think it's true, I find myself right back in love with you.
Yes.
Oh, so that is
girl,
my
guess
song.
what? My plants are thriving. I thought about you today. I have a new little joint coming in here. I have 2 new buds over there, and on my bird of paradise, there's a shoot. You know how exciting that is when you about to get a new. They are hard to get a new shoot, and I was like, wow.
I always get a new shoe, but she got mites. So she gets eaten up. Sad. She's living her hard life. She's like, just let me die already.
She on life support. She's like, oh.
She's like, just kill me already.
All right. Well, so what we gonna do?
Send me those files.
You gotta send. I think what you should do, Queen, is stay on here, do a new recording on the Zoom, and hold your phone up to the mic and just do a clean version of your mom's audio. So he can have a separate file to make that better.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Put it up to what?
To the mic.
Put my phone up to
and
this,
play it,
right?
and then listen back so that he can adjust that separately outside of the track that we have. Gotta get you out of my... All right. I sang to him.
Hey, you did.
The most intimate
You
and
did?
stressful thing. He just kept
What did you
bothering
sing?
me about it. He kept bothering me about it. And he was like, it really upsets me that you don't do this. I feel like you're in your own way. I feel like you compare yourself to people around you, and so you don't understand the gift you have. I've listened to your other stuff. Like, you have stuff out there in the world. I just want to, I do my art in front of you all the time. Like, he was really berating me. And I just started singing. And then he cried.
She said
I was like,
berating
I
you.
gotta go. Yeah,
He
was
cried?
like, he was like so happy. He was like, you have to do this. And then he gave me a long ass lecture. That is my soulmate best friend in a male version. And it's so interesting that y'all are so similar. But
Are we the
in a
same?
lot of ways, in some ways not. He's definitely pro-violence. He was telling me, he was like, listen, this whole religion was based off of violence. God said, get your ass out there on the war. You're a warrior. Talking about the when he practices. He was like, you're a warrior. Get your ass out here. And the dude was like, no, I don't think I can, God. And God was like,
No, that all right.
well, I can't wait for y'all to
Sure.
meet and talk.
That was him telling him like none of this shit is real. That was when he told him like actually all of this is a lie. None of it's real. And maybe it's just the nature of the world that we're
I'm gonna
in.
get you a shirt that says that. I don't know. Maybe. But I don't know. That's always your conclusion. That's always it. Did you peep on the last video when you were like, I don't think like that? I'm lying. I do think like that. But I don't think like that. I was like,
What were we
that's
talking
pussy
about?
in the world.
Oh. I said I'd lied.
Oh, okay.
I have thought
was
that
like,
before.
this girl is a nut case. She's like,
I have
don't
thought it
know. I
before.
don't, maybe, but I don't know.
I just don't. I mean, nobody knows. Niggas that think they know just gonna fuck around and find out. The way that Chris found out, niggas that
And
think
not
they
only
know,
is
you
Chris
gonna
finding
fuck
out,
around
Will
and
is
find
finding
out.
out because he sit with it. He sit with
Exactly.
it and like,
Either way, you gonna fuck around and find out. Either you getting smacked or you getting
I can't wait to see one of the Willows smack somebody though.
a
Or
stern
not one of the Willows,
conversation.
like a Jaden or a Willow. Like, shut the fuck up. We do this.
Willow
Willow
is
is a
like, actually, Willow was just screaming and doing some black girl like music. I was like,
She's
girl,
really talented.
I love her. I really like her.
She's really talented. I don't know. Maybe Chris will come to the red table. I'm gonna be irritated if that happens, but I'm gonna watch. I'm like, sometimes things happen. Like, that was smiling Negro, don't he? Like, Anyway. All right, Sheila. It is 12 o'clock. Good night. You are loved. I gotta send you these files tonight, huh?
Yeah. This nigga tried to charge us
What?
more. I said, He tried to charge us more, but he put it back to the price before.
What is the price? 65? Oh, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it
Oh,
was
we
more
seen
than that.
prices before, but he tried
It
to
was
make it
70
70.
something. That's what I put in the.
There was taxes and
Oh,
things
so
on
then
it.
that's not the
And
price.
you have to pay the platform.
So 70 something. All right. I don't love this, but I'm going with it. I'm going with it and with you.
You gonna find a cheaper one, or you just going to edit for the rest
No,
of
we
your
just
life?
need to make more money before we. He's only doing it twice a month, right? All right, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sending this to you now, Queen. Look, I'm getting up. You see it? Right here. Can you see it?
Girl, stop!
Oh, it's
Nobody
coming.
wants to see that. Is there
Not
anything
yet,
in
but it's
there?
forming. You see it?
Ooh.
It doesn't even hurt yet.
Yep. So then it starts hurting.
Or I'm past the hurt and now it's forming.
And
I don't know the difference.
I hate the ones that it hurts, but nothing comes
That's under the
out.
skin. That's when you need to put a hole in it and then put that patch on that I have. This poor cat. I'm sorry. Just sorry.
I can't believe it's 12 o'clock.
It's because we slept. It's because
I'm
we
in a
slept.
cycle of sleep depression. I didn't sleep.
Why
I
did
cried.
you cry? What's going on?
I didn't cry. I did yoga.
I have not worked out.
You
I'm
have to
not
work
working
out
out
today?
right now. Hell no. I'm just saying I haven't
about
worked
the
out. I haven't
same?
eaten terribly either. But I have not worked out. I was on a roll.
You worked out yesterday.
It was light work and it was quick because I had to get the hell out of here to meet Mandy. I worked out for like 20 minutes. Doesn't count. I'm going to do it tomorrow though.
Do some yoga tonight.
I might do my thing because I'm up. If you watch Atlanta.
I'm excited for you to see it.
All right, Queen. What's it on? It's on Hulu? Yeah. All right. I've said goodbye like 4 times. I don't know what we're doing.
All right, peace to
All
the
right.
gods, old and the new.